Yeah.
Don't you get me? God, honest. Jeez, I can't do anything with you.
She's like, but you called me, Mom.
Yeah, it means to an end to get her off my stuff.
Uh,
This cat, I should have named her Boomerang. Because she boomerang cat. You toss her to the side and she come right back. No headbutting my table.
oh.
Oh, it can't be that shoulder. It has to be this side.
Right. It's never the one that you set them on.
Yeah.
Ever.
The other one is better. No, you're not going under there. You bumped my table.
Oh, let's see.
So how are you, Tina?
I am doing pretty good. It's been one of those days already.
Yeah. You haven't gone to the post office recently, have you?
No.
Yeah. Okay, just checking. Really? Tail right in the tray. All right, you're out of here. They definitely don't need that hitting the floor. Go away.
No, I have not been to the post office.
Cat.
Ergo, that's why you had a surprise in your box.
Yeah, my box likes surprises. Not the kind that has 4 paws and a tail, though. Go away.
Surprises in your inbox. Hello, viewers.
Hey, people.
Those of you hanging out in the rafters.
Every time you say that, I hear monkey noises. I can't help it.
Now, Tim's out doing some grocery shopping. The youngest daughter's got him out doing the stores.
Nice.
Get him out of the house and out of my hair. What little bit I got left.
Get out. Yeah, John annoyed me so bad one day. I can't even remember what he was doing, but I know that it was driving me out of my tree. And I walked out in the living room and I looked at him. I was like, I love you. He goes, yeah. I was like, get out. He goes, what? I'm like, get out of the house for the day. Go away. And he did. Sometimes you just got to tell him to go away.
I mean, we're in opposite rooms in the house almost all the time, but
Oh, John was out in the living room and I was in the bedroom on the computer, but it was just he was still in my space. Rogue. The rogue bell is ringing.
Wow.
Hey, nobody asked you. Don't get nailed for copyright.
It's over. Intro to iZombie. It's playing on the TV.
People have gotten nailed for copyright just from music playing in a store that they go into. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. Craziness.
I said one of my videos. Can't remember which one it was. I didn't get necessarily nailed for copyright. Didn't get an actual strike against me. But what they did was there's a couple 3 songs that was playing on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
They're banned in certain countries. So the video is banned from being shown in those countries because that music is playing in the background.
Well, was one of them England?
No?
Well, then no problem, because we don't know anybody in other countries. So, well, I don't. Well, Scotland, but basically the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, and Linda, was it banned in Spain?
No, there was those weird countries that, I don't really know anybody in.
The weird countries that don't have good internet? Yeah.
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 Where
Well,
everything is monitored.
Yeah. It's like, we're not going to let you use the internet, but nobody's going to listen to your stuff because we don't let our people listen to the internet anyway, but we're going to ban it anyway because that's what we do.
Pretty much. I'm like, okay then.
It's like, okay. And have a nice day.
She might, probably not, but I woke up this morning bright and early again. Nature called, full bladder. Lay back down to go back to sleep. It's somewhere around 5 o'clock in the morning Central Time. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm trying to go to sleep, trying to go back to sleep. I'm like, can't take it no more. So I get up and I grab my cell phone and I'm like, grab it and I load up Facebook. I'm like, seriously, it is 5:45 in the bloody morning. It's not supposed to be all about the bass. Hey, Willow.
Hi, Willow.
Give me a minute, sweetie.
I was up then. I think I actually crashed at like 10 or something last night, but I woke up at like 2. I crashed at like 10:30. When did you say goodnight to me? I don't remember.
Oh, honey, I don't remember.
You're supposed to remember these things for me.
Because I passed out.
Woman.
I can tell you.
Like 9 o'clock?
Yeah, 9 your time, 8 mine.
I wasn't up much longer than that. And I woke up at 2. I was like, huh. Then I've been up ever since.
But yeah, I was just like, boom. I was aggravated as hell. I'm like, we live in trailers, for God's sake. Quit with the music. It's 5:45 in the goddamn morning. I don't want to hear the bass.
That's just rude. My neighbors do that all the time. I'm in a house and they do that, and I can hear it through my walls. This house is so thin. Walls are so thin. But
I mean, I have pretty good insulation. This is a newer trailer, and it's got good 6-inch walls and nice thick insulation. I got a good one. It's not like I got one of them cheap tin cans, even though I say, most trailers are tin cans. But good insulation, good thick walls. Good to go. No. It is awful. I mean, I hear music playing all the damn time. And I'm just like, dude, knock it off.
Yeah. What I love is when people pull up across the street and honk their horn at 2 a.m. And I'm like, really, you inconsiderate prick? You can't get out of the car or use your phone and call them to let them know you're there? You have to honk the damn horn at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then to add insult on the injury, I don't know what they're doing or where they're going, but they're gone for like an hour. They come back, and when that person leaves, they honk their horn goodbye.
And she's going to have a breathing treatment.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I hear people across the street, and Donnie, when he gets going, when he has a lot of people gathered for a cookout or something, and the people next door.
Yeah.
they blare it. I mean, there are times I'll have a movie playing on my laptop, and the speakers are 18 inches away from me, and I can't hear what I'm listening to. I have to turn it way the fuck up. So, yeah. I mean, I think I've been on message calls with you, and you've been able to hear the music over the laptop.
I have.
They've been so loud. And you were like, "Is that your son?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I'm like, "Is that Junior?"
No, it is not. So, yeah. Bedhead. What you doing with bedhead so late?
Of course, and it's slowly, please. And this is my dear friend Tasha. Favorite of all of Hubby's lovely.
Well, we know that feeling.
Daddy and I wound up eating without Hubby all the time when he was working. He just kept painting on
I really wish my neighbor would get back to me. I hate it when he makes me wait. Like, I don't even know if he saw the text. So either one of them.
That's where you usually get better response from him when you call him.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like to be a total pain in the ass, you know? I always feel like that's being really pushy, you know? I don't know. And like then he's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Cody,
girl, you were up all night. You didn't go to bed till 8 a.m.
Well, then you're allowed to just wake up now."
Yeah. I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night.
Seriously, the other women were not an issue. I knew who Javier was with and what he was getting out of the relationship.
We all know my sleep patterns suck. Okay.
It's not like we have children to worry about. His paintings were his.
Yeah, right. So it didn't bother you that his babies were nude paintings of the women who slept.
Tina, stop watching TV.
I wasn't, actually.
You're on your own damn live. Why is the TV on?
Background noise.
That's the first time anybody's ever said they needed background noise when I'm on screen. Usually they're like, "Damn, girl, you make enough noise for everybody."
I always have some kind of background noise. Usually it's a radio. But I don't have radio in this room. Radio's in the other room.
Well, when I'm talking, I can't deal with a ton of noise. It all turns into cross noise, and then I can't concentrate on what I'm saying. And I know it doesn't look like it, but 9 times out of 10, I actually am concentrating on what I'm saying.
Wow.
I have been known to distract myself, though, so I am my own squirrel.
Oh, I bet you were.
Yeah.
This is Jimmy. He's a police sketch artist. I happened to run into him at the commissary, and we got to talking. And well, I mentioned
I wouldn't have been able to move. I can't lay on those hard freaking tables and be able to function correctly. Everything locks up.
Okay, so any defining features?
I slept a good amount of time yesterday myself. Not 11 hours, I don't believe, but
I didn't. I went to sleep at 11. I got woken up at 11:45. Then
There was something historic.
I fell asleep for about, I don't know, an hour sideways, like leaning back on one arm and everything going in. And that wasn't very comfortable.
yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I'm like, alrighty then.
Everything hurt when I woke up after that. And then I was like, screw this. And I laid down and I slept till about 2:30. I was up, so.
Am I right in assuming
And at that point, I have to stay awake because I don't know when my dog is going to go out. And when she goes, right after she goes out, she has to eat.
Yeah.
So I have to stay awake to make sure I know when she goes out. Because the person who puts her out never tells me if I'm sleeping that she's going out. So then I sit here waiting and getting more pissed off because my dog hasn't eaten when,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Sounds like the Timmy is home. Yep.
I hope he bought me something good. That's what I always said to John when he was going to the store. I'd be like, what? Buy me something good. He goes, everything I buy is good. I'm like, okay, I could list all of the things that you bought that were not good. He goes, shut up, Bear, and he'd walk out the door. I thought this would be a really good idea. You thought wrong. Take you back to the store. But no.
But no. There are worse things. I mean, hey.
He screwed up pretty big at one point. He screwed up pretty big a lot of times, but there was this one. He screwed up really bad. And he's like, I want to get you something to make up for me being an asshole. I'm like, nothing on this planet could make up for that. Like, you don't have enough money, right? He goes, I just want to get you something. I'm like, okay. I like presents. I'm not going to say no. Then he tells me he doesn't have enough money for what he wants to get me. And I'm like, well, I can wait. I was like, just save your money. He goes, that never works. I'm like, hand me the money and I'll save it for you. He's like, but then you won't give it to me when I need it. I was like, I'll give it to you when you're going to buy my present. And he goes, well, can I borrow the money? And then I'll give it back to you. I'm like, when have you ever given me money back that I've lent you? He goes, no, I promise I will. And I'm like, I hear this every time he wanted to borrow money. I'm like, uh-huh. So I lend him like $70, right? Yeah. I'm like, and how much money do you have? And he told me, and I was like, okay, so this better be a pretty damn good present because he was shopping at Walmart and it was a lot of money. It was like, it totaled up to like $150 or $140.
Right.
So I go to pick him up like an hour and a half later. He calls me. He's like, okay, I'm done shopping. I'm like, okay. He got me a bouquet of flowers and a sapphire and diamond ring. Now, here's a little helpful tip. Any guy that's going to try and make up for being really stupid by buying your girl a present, don't buy the present where they work.
Or with their own money.
Well, yeah, there's that too, but
Just saying.
And I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't realize that the sapphire and diamond rings were that expensive because, yeah, it was pretty expensive. I'm like, huh. I'm like, well, thank you. Gave him all the usual things. And the next day when I went to work, because I worked loss prevention.
Right.
Next day I went to work. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I was watching somebody in jewelry, and we had, those spinning ring things that they had with the sterling rings on them. Well, they had mirrors on the edges, right? So I could position it so that I'm looking straight ahead, but I can see the mirror off to the side. And I'm watching somebody pocketing costume jewelry, right? So I'm sitting there and watching them, and they're not going anywhere. They haven't done anything yet. So I'm watching them. And I happen to look down, and there's the same sapphire ring that he had bought me, $35. So I ended up making the stop. I busted the guy,
Yeah.
And when the cop walked him out, I was walking a little far behind him because I can't be seen with them as they're walking out because then the potential shoplifters will know that I work there, right? So I just happened to walk up to the front where the flowers are. Just happened to at this point. It's not a coincidence. And the flowers he bought me was like $10.
Haven't used the facilities yet, but you're excited.
There's
This is not
45.
does not equal $140. I'm like, so he worked at Walmart still at that point. And rumors were flying about that girl that worked with him in TLE. And so I went and I showed up at that Walmart early, didn't park in the back where I usually did to pick him up, and went and checked the cameras and the tape and watched him give her the same exact thing he had given me. Ah, where'd you go? Don't leave me here by myself. All right, this isn't right. Hi, Wendy. How are you, my Wendy? They left me here. Look at. I wanted to be alone. If I wanted to be alone, I'd done my own damn life.
Sorry, sis, started talking. Didn't figure I wanted to hear her story. In the middle of yours. But yeah, whoever did that, I'm assuming it was John.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's always John.
I would have rearranged his face. It's like, what in the fuck did he spend the other money with?
Yeah, no, I knew what he spent on, and I looked at him when I picked him up. I was like, his boss was trying to get him to do unpaid overtime. His boss was a jerk. I ended up getting him fired. Because I called him. I was like, why are you not out of work yet? He goes, Kenneth won't let me go yet. I'm like, really? I was like, your time's up. Your shift is over. Why? What's going on? He goes, he's got 3 more cars he wants me to do. He's like, I already clocked out. I went walking in. I was like, John, let's go. And Kenneth was like, he's not done yet. I was like, didn't you punch out when John's like, yeah, I'm punched out. I was like, if he punched out, he can't work on a car. It's against company policy. And Kenneth was like, well, I say he needs to stay. I was like, all right, let's call Conrad, which was the general manager of loss prevention. And he's like, well, I don't think that's necessary. It's like, well, you want to break company policy, so I think it's necessary. I was like, if he's off the clock, he's not covered by Walmart insurance. I was like, and since I'd have to put his bill, it's not happening. He's not working on a car off the clock. I was like, so if he already punched out and came to walk through here to leave, and you told him to get back to work, it's not happening. And by the way, I will report this to Conrad, regardless of whether I call him right now or not. His boss did not like me at all because I didn't put up with this shit.
Yeah.
And
hang on, Wendy. Tina's away here for a sec.
Yeah.
Well, if you scroll up in the chat, it's just right above. Oh, there she is.
Yay.
Yay.
Hi. Hey, my Cody, my Willow, my
Hello,
mama.
Wendy.
How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
I'm
So
awake, barely.
But while I was there, I went walking over to the girl that he worked with, and I was like, "Oh well, look, you have the same ring kind of style ring I have," and she's like, "Oh yeah, I just got it." I'm like, "Well, that's coincidence. I just got mine too." Hers was a different stone though. I think hers was amethyst or something. I was like, "That's weird." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Well, purple is my favorite color." I was like, "But John got me this one because it's my birthstone. It's his birthstone, and he loves me and wants me to wear his birthstone." And she was like, "Oh, that's nice." I'm like, "Yeah."
That's funny.
Because I'm an evil bitch. That's why I said it. Because he had bought her the same fucking ring he got me. I'm like, yeah. So I was like, and I looked at him. I said, "Get in the fucking car." He was like, "Oh fuck," because he was all just standing there like, like looking at her like, "Don't say anything." And I looked at him. I said, "Get in the car and we'll discuss how you gave her the same kind of ring you gave me, and the flowers. Go now." He was like, "Shit."
It's your money.
He's like, He literally was like, I'm going to die. I'm like, yeah, it's a possibility. I was like, you're going to pay me back every dime I gave you, and then some. It says, matter of fact, you're going to give me the money you spent on mine and hers, and I know exactly how much it costs because you fool, I work at Walmart. He's like, yeah, I didn't think that through. I'm like, you think?
Yeah, no.
Probably the only reason that he got him there was because he got an employee discount.
Yeah. He goes, well, I didn't pay full price. I was like, that's not helping you. You're paying me back full price. He goes, why? I said, we'll call it your asshole fee. How's that? He's like, that works. I'm like, I know. And he paid me back every fucking time.
So how's the Wendy?
And I kept the ring.
I'm doing good.
Are you doing better, dear?
Yes.
Awesome.
I love your
It's
shirt.
keeping me occupied. Deadpool riding a unicorn.
That's right.
I'm in there and look stupid.
I love Deadpool. That's why I want to get Mint Mobile. So when people ask me who my provider is, I can say Deadpool.
Right?
Because Ryan Reynolds
Yeah,
owns
the
Mint
toad's
Mobile.
keeping me occupied, so
Yeah, the toad's keeping you occupied, and I won't let her bury him in the garden.
I tried.
She has threatened it several times. I'm like, you're supposed to allow him to play in the dirt, not bury him under it.
Only because he won't let me have a gnome.
When not a gnome, Wendy wants 6 garden gnomes for her yard.
Oh, there's one with a mankini though.
She wants to have a gnome in a mankini. This should not ever be done to a gnome.
I've seen that one.
It's a horrible thing to do to a
More
gnome.
likes the idea. Cody,
I've
I've
seen
got
that one.
to.
It's funny.
see, Cody.
And the mankinis are in all different colors. They're funny.
Yeah.
I've got gnomes in my flower beds.
Not wearing a mankini, I'm sure.
No.
Willow's gnomes are all castrated. She's got eunuch gnomes.
Probably, yeah.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with gnomes, but she keeps saying he won't let her get a gnome. And he's like, you can have 1, you can't have 6.
See, that would rub me the wrong way because no man tells me what I can or cannot have or do. They start that.
Well,
Then,
I'm
yeah.
getting 6 gnomes. Isn't it?
And this is why Willow's and this is why Willow would have eunuch gnomes.
Yeah.
This is why Willow is single and has been single for a very, 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 very long time.
Toad will let her get them. They're just playing.
Oh, I know. Just saying.
Yeah.
They start going all manly, well, you can't do this or you can't do that. And yeah.
No, that's when she takes the Dragon Ball Z poster off the wall and sets it on fire.
Oh,
No,
it's
that's
over
when I
there.
just
Look, Cody.
grab her.
Look, Cody.
Sex swings come in many colors, Wendy.
I know.
And they have attachments.
Do they?
Oi.
Yeah, they have all kinds of neat doodads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There she goes. I told you what happens every time you show me that ugly poster. Did you think I
Well, it
forgot?
makes us think of balls, and if it makes us think of balls, then we're going to think of other tidbits. And if we're going to think of other tidbits, then we're going to think of the toys that go with the tidbits, and the equipment that goes with the toys that goes with the tidbits. And it just kind
No,
of
that's not why. I just hate Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, well, that's just you. I've never seen anything related to Dragon Ball Z, so I have no idea what that is. But
My son
it has
loves
the word
Dragon Ball
balls on
Z.
it. That's all it takes for me.
Again, eunuch gnomes.
Oh yeah.
My son loves Dragon Ball Z, and I was overloaded by that within a week. So
Well, just the term ballsy. Seriously.
Smell
Well, it's
Well, my
Dragon
balls are
Ball.
bigger than any man's.
It's Dragon Ball, and then a hyphen, and then a Z.
There's clearance.
Cold.
There's clearance candles.
Yes, but when you say it, it's Dragon
Oh,
Ball Z.
Cody.
Dragon Ball Z. In other words, they think they have Dragon Balls.
Oh, that's one of the ones I love. Is that the apple one?
Yep, it's the sweet apple.
Yep,
Ooh.
that one smells so good. Open it. Open it.
Oh, the glass is cold. I mean, cold.
Here comes Bedhead. Oh, candle. Yeah, I don't do candle.
It smells good, doesn't it?
That does.
I picked them. Obviously, you guys bought them, but I picked them.
Oh, I said that glass is cold as ice. I'm telling you.
Do I look like I just woke up?
Yep.
Yeah, you look like you always do.
And this one
What that hair do,
is
you know?
this
This
one's
is
a
after
3-wick. Says it's bright hibiscus. Yep, it's hibiscus.
They remind me of Granny.
Are you trying to let us smell it? Because we don't have smell on YouTube.
Yeah,
there's
smell
no
vision.
in here.
No, I like to show off colors. It's kind of a cream more than
Yeah. In most cases, I'm really glad that it's smell-o-vision is not a thing yet. Especially during The Walking Dead.
yes.
Ew.
Considering I love The Walking Dead, I like to watch it.
I've never watched it.
It's one of my favorites to watch.
Something about watching zombies that are just like peeling apart. Doesn't
You
appeal
like
to
it?
me.
Will all the guys' balls fall off?
Fuck that. I would have cut them or shot them off. So they'd be eunuchs before they ever started.
Cat. No, I've watched it through season 6, I think, but it got really campy, and I don't know, I couldn't follow it anymore, and I don't know, I'll watch 7, 8, 9, whatever they're up to now when I get my Netflix back, which should be sometime this month.
I watched
They're
a
on
series.
10 right now,
I tried
and
to
they're
watch.
filming 11.
I tried to watch Z Nation. I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, I like Z Nation.
You know why I couldn't do it? Because like the first or second episode, they had a 3-month-old baby, that zombie that was coming after somebody. I'm like, what in the hell are they gonna bite you with? They have no teeth. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, what? I'm like,
But it
no,
was
I'm not.
supposed to be comical.
I'm like, no, I'm done. I was like, no, I couldn't watch
I like
it. Like,
Murphy, and I love Doc.
I don't even remember who they are. I could not get into it. I mean, I had watched,
He's got a
I
fancy.
don't know, like part of the first season of Walking Dead or something, and then that started, and I tried to watch it.
Always got a crooked on his head.
I just couldn't get into it. So there was no Daryl Dixon in that. I didn't like it. I love Norman Reedus.
Mm-hmm. He's still kicking there on Walking Dead. They haven't killed him off yet.
People will boycott the crap out of that show. They will just stop watching it if you're on there. You know, his fan base is huge. And it was a huge protest when they were like, who's going to not make it when the whole Negan thing started? And they're like, who's going to die? Who's going to die? And people went ballistic thinking they were going to kill off Daryl. So, yeah, I mean, there probably would have been hits put out on the people in control of that show if they had killed off Daryl Dixon.
Oh, goody, my spots.
People get way too invested in characters. You know, I mean, that's obsessive behavior that can get very bad. Kind of scary.
Yes, but no at the same time.
Oh, come on, I watched 15 years worth of Supernatural, for Christ's sake.
Yes, they know at the same time.
That's investment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched,
especially after they got weird.
I watched up until the freaking angel showed up, and I'm like, no, I don't like him. I'm done.
Castiel.
That asshole. Mm-mm.
We've got the first several seasons of that on DVD. I can't remember how far it goes though.
I got demon gas over here in tanks.
I mean, people died, then they came back, and it's like if your characters can just come back at any point in time, I'm not investing my emotions in this show. You know?
Too flaky.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that when it was early, and
I mean,
I
the
like.
guys are cute. The guys are cute, and the car is hot, and that's about as far as my interest goes.
What was that called? Alien Nation. Way back when. I enjoyed
Yeah.
watching that one.
Yeah, I think
There was one. There was one that they did. I cannot remember the name of it. Had the guy with the narrow face that played in ER. And there was Skitter.
Wiley.
Yeah, Noah Wiley. And then there was Skitters. This critter called a Skitter. But I'll be damned if I can remember the name of the show.
Falling
I
Skies.
remember back in the 80s, I
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
Glee.
that's it.
I love that show.
Yeah. Sis even actually watched that one with me, and she doesn't usually watch anything sci-fi, fantasy, paranormal.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think they did a good job on that as realistically what would happen if our planet got invaded. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They invested in the characters to build up the characters and the situations that would happen to them, and things like that. I really like that show, but I have no idea how many seasons they had of it or whatever.
I think it was four.
I first started watching that. I think I only watched most of the first season because the only time I could watch it is when I got the hotel when I went with my landlord's brother when I took him to Atlanta, and for his eyes, he had to go to the veteran hospital for his eyes, and my landlord paid for the hotel room for me because it was usually a 1 or 2 night stay for his appointment, and I got to watch cable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what is this show? I like it,
Yeah, I remember watching Alien Nation, and I watched, like I said, back in the 80s, V.
Yep. The original V with Mark Singer.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Yep. I love that show too.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
I was a little
The
disappointed
remake wasn't as good as the original.
when they remade that, and then when they made it a TV series, it was very disappointing. It was very disappointing. But the original, what was it, a 5 or 6 part mini series that they
Yeah,
did?
the miniseries was good.
Was awesome. Hiya, Amy. I'm sorry. Badass hotness. Hey, honey. I'm like, what? Don't want to get yelled at. Because she's badass. She'll yell at me.
She my ninja.
Whoa.
5 seasons.
Is there 5 seasons? Yeah, I missed a lot.
Yeah, Falling Skies. There was 5 seasons.
I'm gonna have to find that on one of those things you're not really supposed to go to because they're pirated or whatever. Shh, I didn't say that. Wasn't me. Just Tina.
You can probably get it on DVD too.
No, I can't. I can't afford it.
No, I mean just that it exists probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. It's been on long enough. I'm sure that they have them
cheap.
Yeah.
He stumbles backwards 4 or 5 paces and the blood splatter hits these steps. The killer
So Tina's all fancy now. She has her computer in her room.
Ew.
It's more convenient.
Because the bitch don't ever want to get out of bed. That's why. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's easier on her legs because she can sit back and stretch her legs out.
Yeah.
They don't swell so bad.
Yeah. I am a ninja. Whoa.
She is. She's a badass ninja.
Yeah, she is.
Well, all 5 seasons in a box set is only $89.
Only.
Only.
Holy fuck, people. And then they've got it for $59, which I'm assuming is used.
Unless I really know the person that I'm buying from, I will not buy used CDs or DVDs.
I only do if they're like new.
I won't do it because they can lie and you get a piece of crap and then you can't return it because people give you the runaround and all that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we got a game. What we call it, a video gaming and fun place up here. You can buy used DVDs and games, etc.
Our video store does too. I'll buy from them because I can go in there and physically see them. Well, I used to be able to go. But if I'm
Yeah, we
buying from
used to
some,
like that, but not anymore. Our last place, Family Video, closed over the winter. So there's no
probably did.
place to buy a DVD except Walmart new.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll buy them. I mean, if I can go physically touch it and take it out of the case and look at it, yes. But if I'm looking at something that is like they show the case, they show the picture of the front of the CD or DVD, then they just show you the picture of the back of it, and it's all still shots. They could use any damn DVD or CD for that shot of a clean,
The only time I will buy those is through Amazon distribution because they inspect. I don't buy them from a private seller, no.
So, I mean, I would buy them from people like Gary and, people that I know.
I'm talking like on the website.
I'd buy one from Amy. I agree, kids. But yeah, I mean, there are certain people I would buy from and certain people I would not. But electronics, I have an issue with electronics used because, like, if I bought electronics from a reseller, something they found out of a storage unit, it might work for a little bit and then not work, and then that's going to cause some animosity between me and that person. Even though it's not their fault, I'm still going to have resentments about it because I can't get that money back when I could have put it towards getting new. So
there's some electronics I bought new. Like I did buy a cog-driven, not a belt-driven, but a cog-driven VHS player at a yard sale for $5 like 10 years ago, and it still works just great.
That's $5. I mean,
yeah.
I'm talking if I make like a serious investment in something, like say somebody's selling, because my PS3 is a piece of crap, right? So say somebody's selling a PS3 and it's like $100. To me, that is a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a big ticket item. Yeah.
So,
same.
I mean, like KJ, I was going to get a PS2 from KJ, and I would trust KJ. She tested it and all that, and it works. KJ, I would trust. There are a lot of people. If I don't know them, I won't do it. But
Amy, sorry. 2 days of laundry. That's a lot of laundry. We do like 2, maybe 3 loads a week.
Hey, Anvil.
Hey, Em.
But I prefer to buy my electronics new. That way, if there's a problem, I can deal with the manufacturer or the store.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go, because if it's through somebody like a reseller or somebody that I know and something happens and there has to be a back and forth, there's resentments on both sides, there's whatever. feelings get brought into it, and you can't have feelings when there's business. So, not like that.
That would explain it, Amy. It's
Well-
just the two of us and 4 cats, so.
Hotness. Stop having the animals wear clothes. You won't have as much laundry.
Diva furries. Lots of laundry.
I'm thinking the biggest problem in that equation is the 4 kids who will change clothes repeatedly during the day.
Yeah.
And even though the clothes that they were just wearing for 10 minutes are not dirty, they throw them in the dirty laundry pile.
Which means they need to be doing their own damn laundry.
My
Hello,
daughter was
Isabel.
like that. My daughter used to do that until I showed her how to use the washer and dryer and said, "You're doing laundry."
Yep. Once you make them do it themselves, then suddenly they become very efficient in hanging things back up and avoiding that machine at all costs. Yep. Amy's like, that's so my girls.
And you know what's funny is that I didn't do that. If I only wore something for even like a half an hour or something, and I had to change,
I put it back on a hanger and hung it back up, or put it
put
back
it
in the drawer.
away. It's like it didn't get dirty, you know.
I don't hang those on a hanger. I hang them on a hook on the door. You know?
My
Right.
my mother wouldn't allow hooks on doors.
No, why they're hangers?
We were lucky that she was put up pictures because my dad was so big on not putting holes in anything. It devalues the house. I'm like, we have a teenager and a dog living here, Dad. How much more devalued can it get?
Right?
Yeah, seriously.
My parents' house in Massachusetts was pristine when they sold it. Put it that way. Thing could have been brand new, have just been built. There was no damage to it. Because anything that had gotten damaged on the outside, they had gotten repaired.
The only door I don't have a hook on is the closet door here in the living room, the coat closet. And that's because the door is too snug to the frame. If it would go and the door would shut, then there'd be a hook on that too. On all of the door hooks. So
Well, I have a door hook on that door.
Mhm.
Right there, that hangs. I can't reach it, but it's there.
I have them on my closet door in my bedroom because that's how I do my little clothes rotation thing. And I have them on the door leading into my bedroom because one won't fit on the door in the closet just outside there. Because if I have to wear a rain jacket and it's wet, I'm not hanging in the closet with all the coats so that everything gets mildewy. I hang it on that door and let it dry, and then it goes in the closet. I've got one on the bathroom door, so I got a place to hang my robe. And I've got one on the utility room bathroom door because that's where I hang, like, sheets, towels, anything like that that needed that extra 5 minutes in the dryer. I just hang them up. And then utility room to the kitchen, I have one because we buy like iced tea, milk and stuff and freeze it. And when we thaw it, we put it on a hot pad and the hot pad gets saturated. So we hang them on that door to dry the hot pads.
Well, I can't put a hook on the adjoining door because there's no room. And if I put a hook on the closet door on the outside, well, it wouldn't stay there long because the bookcase is on one side of that door and the baker's rack is on the other that I have, and the cats traverse that space. And I can't reach any of the damn hooks anyway, so.
Well, I don't like hanging a wet coat on a doorknob because then the cat's rubbing against it and it gets furry.
I don't put anything on the doorknobs here.
Yeah, doorknobs and cats, it don't mix. So
Doorknobs and anything don't mix. I used to hang purses and stuff on there, but the doorknobs here are kind of low, so, which is good for me now when I'm in the chair, but bad for anything that has like a shoulder strap or something.
yeah,
And
I can't do a shoulder strap.
The cats would be all over that. The bag I have hanging on the back of the wheelchair, it's a tote, and Onyx is on that all the time, scratching at it and stuff. I'm like, oh, leave my stuff alone. So, yeah.
9th, 1st, 15th.
I didn't know how to reach out.
What's a first?
I'm gonna leave you beautiful people. I'm gonna lay and
No.
relax.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
dear. Well,
Where's
thank you for
Toad?
popping in.
Yeah. I'll be in chat.
Where's Toad?
He's alive. Toad, say hi. Jack, say hi. See, he's alive. He's not buried.
So he
And
hasn't been
Marvin
turned
says a
into a
good idea
eunuch
for me to have
guard
a
now?
known with a mankini. Can I have a known with a mankini now? Ah,
Meh.
Cody, I'm burying him in garden. I'm sorry.
No.
It's got to be done.
No.
It's got to.
No, just put him.
Just turn him into a eunuch gnome in a mankini. Plant him in the garden.
That's a great idea, Willow.
Jack,
Cody, I'll
run.
film it for you.
Poor Jack.
Thong alert, Toad.
Toad, run. Toad, run. Run, Toad, run. That poor man.
Poor Toadie.
I'll be in chat, Ma. I'll talk
Okay.
to y'all
Alright,
guys later. I love yous.
Love you,
Love
Wendy.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye. She won't really bury him in the garden because he's been very supportive in helping her do the garden and with everything else. So I know you're fibbing, Wendy.
Gotta blow.
Make me have to check my calendar. I'm like, I know I wrote things down, damn it.
No, I was just wondering what a first was instead of a first.
It
Well,
was supposed to be the 15th, wasn't it? Is that what you put that? Yeah.
it's supposed to be the 15th. That's why I put 15th under you.
I just thought it was comical. What's a first?
I know. Typos. They're abundant.
They're awesome.
That's what they all say.
Oh, heavens.
Phenomenal.
Well, I spent 2 hours Tuesday on a echocardiogram sonogram table and had sonogram done on my heart, or echocardiogram done on my heart, sonogram done on my carotids, and everything came back my normal. So no signs out of any of that a blood clot came loose there. So
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that they'd be
Yay.
able to look in there and tell, is it a blood clot or is it something else? But apparently not. So we have to go through all these rule out things.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what point in all of this are you going to do something to fix the freaking eye? Should I be doing something? So I
I'm really happy
still
for
don't
Robin.
know what it
Robin's-
is or if it's fixable.
I'm really happy for Robin. Her eye is looking so much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy for her. Amy. No, eventually I'm going to have to kick you out of my craft room so I can use it as a craft room.
Poor Amy. She's hunting up a Calgon moment. Take me away.
She's tiny. We could probably tuck her into a closet somewhere,
No, claustrophobia. Been there, done that.
We can leave the door open.
She says, I just need a corner. Come on in here and tell us all about it.
I'll be sitting there doing a video or something, and somebody will be like, why do you have that pile of clothes in the corner? I'm like, that's not a pile of clothes, that's Amy.
That's my hotness.
That's my badass hotness.
Right?
Little hand pops up. Hi.
Oy vey. Too funny.
Oh, my neighbor needs to message me back. He's driving me crazy.
Kelly has the zoomies.
Mine are sleeping. Don't jinx it.
What you doing? Did you gas out already? Yeah.
Cindy, do not wake up the cat.
Here comes Jealous.
Do not wake up the cat.
Well, the cat is directly behind me. The cat is directly behind me, and Simi is over to my left a little bit, which on StreamYard is my right. But she's over this way.
Uh-huh.
But she just stretched, and her paw came within this much of the cat. And I'm like, yeah, don't wake up the cat. Because the cat will be all up in my grill. She'll get into my bowl.
Yeah, right.
And I already had enough of that
They
today.
walked by and then vanished again.
I need to go get some tea.
Thank you, Wendy. That was
Girl,
2 out of 4.
What?
You need to like keep a reserve in your room or something when you're doing a live.
You just need to run a straw from the fridge to where you're sitting.
Run
I
the
know.
iced tea hose. hook up the iced tea
Okay,
hose.
Amy.
I love
Have
you.
fun, Amy.
Love you, girl. Don't fall into the washer. Sorry.
She's tiny enough she could.
That is so not even funny because Tim was busy flipping through pictures and on like Facebook and shit. And all he sees was showing was there was pictures of us little short women, and we have fallen into the washing machine trying to get shit out of the bottom of the washer.
I know my daughter did it when she was 11.
I'm going, that's not funny.
It is. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Because
You're right. You're right. It's not funny.
I have done that. You know, I'm hanging out there. I'm not touching the floor because I'm trying to get in there to get to the bottom of the damn washing machine.
All over. Are you drunk?
Oh, look at pictures of little feet.
Give you your laugh for the day?
I have to say that has honestly never happened to me. I have buoys built in.
My washing machine, I swear, I bend over and it's right here. I'm just underneath my boobs. It's that tall. So, you know, you got to up and over to get to the shit in the very bottom.
It's so serious right now. It's making me laugh even more.
I can just reach the stuff on the bottom of ours if I'm up on my tippy toes, one leg kicked back, boob flipped up, flopped in the can because otherwise it gets squished and I don't like
Well,
that.
yeah, you don't want to squash them. That's why I said it's up underneath, over, bending over, trying to get the shit in the very bottom.
It's like washing my hair in the kitchen sink, you know, flip the boobs up on the counter, you know. And,
You gotta do what you gotta do, but
well, then my veggie sprayer doesn't work, so they kind of end up dangling down in the sink because I got to get my head up under the faucet. And yeah, it's interesting. I make sure the
You need
curtain.
a footstool.
I do, because, yeah.
no, what I do is sometimes I'll take my tongs and I'll use them for the extra foot of grab.
Envelope
Or I
problem
make
is
my
there's
son.
no-
Hi,
I use
Linda.
grabbers. If I have to, I use grabbers.
The problem is there's no footstool in the washer for them to get back out. Fuck. He's gonna kick me out.
No, I love you too much for that. Yes, I'm killing Cody Bear.
She's losing her shit over there. Hey, Linda. How are you doing, honey?
Tina made me cry.
But at least it's laugh and cry.
I love you, Linda. Hi.
Hey, boob life is real, people.
I had one, Linda. I don't like them. I was happy when it died.
She'd still fall in it because they have to reach all the way to the back, and their little feet would be sticking out this way instead.
Stifle, Cody. Stifle.
Yeah, I don't trust front loaders. They leak. And I'm in a trailer that is constantly, I don't need the door popping open and gush because a big rig went down the road and washboarded it. Well, I'm 5'1 3/4.
I'm making
Two very large boobs in the way. That takes off a good 6 inches. So
I'm killing the Cody Bear.
I'm okay.
she's losing her shit in here,
The
Tim.
washing machine, when I bend over to get laundry out of it, I'm too short, and I'm, head first in it, trying to get stuff out of the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
And my feet are up in the air,
Yep.
See,
That's exactly how it happened.
She's visualizing us all having little poo moments.
Short people problems. They suck.
but they're funny.
Hi, ladies.
I
Hey,
do.
Tim.
Yes, love.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
And then Envel, top it off with the fact that I have a large capacity machine.
That's me. I have it. You can put a king size comforter in it and wash it. So it's huge washing machine. So yes, my happy little fat ass would fit in the damn washer at just the right angles.
It's funny watching her.
Cody's trying not to break a rib right now.
Yeah.
Laughing. Come on, snort laugh. You know you wanna. No, we didn't say pig.
She's doing a
There
little
was
pause
more on there
breathing
than I
now.
thought.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm okay.
Yeah, Lamaze breathing.
Whatever.
Wendy says, "Hey Tim." Linda says, "Hey Tim."
Hi, ladies.
Enzo. Hi Tim.
Hi, ladies.
Linda says, "Sounds like you're dumpster diving, not washed clothes."
Do you want these?
No, my love.
No, when you're short and you dumpster dive, once you're in the dumpster, when you're looking out, it's like a pair of eyes and an eye, and
Oh, I was getting ready to get up, go get tea when I was started going in for the, talking about, changing of the laundry. Talking about you showing pictures and videos of, us short ladies trying to get into the washers. Exactly, Linda. That's what I was talking about. Sometimes I use my tongs for cooking to get the stuff at the bottom.
I will tell you though, these don't hold heavy things. Like I cannot pick up like a 2 liter of soda with this particular grabber. Yeah, wet towels, things like that. There are some grabbers that have more of a weight capacity to them, but if it's something too heavy, either these things won't hold it or it will start to bend. And I'm like, so.
Yeah.
no, usually what I end up using my grabbers for is like the stray socks and skivvies or wash rag in the bottom of the in the bottom of the tub.
No, there's some really good ones out there, like the ones that Kathy uses when she goes dumpster diving.
Hmm.
There's some really good grabber.
I mean, there are ways to use gravity in your favor. Like if I grab a bag that's too heavy, but I twirl it,
Yeah.
so it's not just the weight of it isn't all the way down. If I twirl the bag so that it's wrapped around it, then I can lift it a little better. But it gives me a little bit more oomph to it. But it's still, the ones I had before this were better, but John broke them.
No, the grabbers that I have, they're good handle. I've had them for 20 plus years. And then I've got a fold-up pair that I can take with me.
Well, no, I'm not dumpster diving, so I don't need that. Mine works perfectly good for what I need it for, which is mostly chasing the cat away from her dish when she starts trying to bury it. She drives me crazy. I haven't had to pick up anything that heavy.
No,
I've
yeah.
had these for like 20 years. Got one on each end of the house. Used to have one in the house, one in the garage, but then when we moved here, we didn't have a garage, so I put one on each end. Since it's double
Yeah,
the square footage.
I have one in my room and I have one out there because John had one from when he was in the wheelchair, and then when he broke mine, he got me one. So, because he was like, "Hey, let me see how that one works," and it came back to me in pieces. I'm like, "John, what the fuck?" He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'll get you a new one." But he got the same kind he got instead of the one that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had
So,
these that fur.
and well, they can be.
I think I got these for Mom in the 90s.
John was stupid. He goes, "Whatever you do, don't pinch me on the ass with it." So that's exactly what I did.
Right?
Because I remember him being out in the workshop when me and Dad were doing craft circuit, and that would have been early mid 90s, so they might be closer to 30 years old. Sturdy little buggers.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken a jar of pickles out of the cupboard when it was too high, and
So my mom's
Sable's
coming
down here
tomorrow.
like, "Ew, what's that, Mom?" Like she hasn't seen him 50,000 times.
Well, of course.
She's gingerly reaching up and
Marty is terrified of these things. I don't know why. She does not like the grabber, but
Somebody's ring-a-dinging. Willow.
it was country. It's Willow. But Marty will take off like a shot if I even go to touch the grabber. If I grab the handle, it makes a noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a distinctive noise, and she recognizes that's what it is. She will take off. Whatever she's doing, she'll stop and she'll run away, which works for me. Onyx, on the other hand, will look at me like, "And what?" It is not a deterrent for Onyx. Onyx is a stubborn ass bitch. And if I get it near her, I'm like, "Shoo, shoo, 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 get out of my way." She'll sit there and smack it. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't have to act like me just because you're my cat.
Well, it's just like Sissy Puss. When it comes to the back scratcher, I play with her with it so much that when I'm trying to get her to get out of the way and shoo her with it, she's like, "Yeah, playtime. Bat, bat, bat."
Well, see, I didn't play with Onyx with mine. But as soon as I use it, she's like, what? And she's all tapping me on the back. And then I'm like, crap, I can't even scratch my back. Damn cat's up my grill. She's behind me right now, so she'll probably hear it and be like, "Oh, playtime."
Well,
And then
there he is, Miss Linda.
And then I mess with him. Then I mess with the cat with it. Hi, Tim.
back.
Honestly, other than having vision problems and a lot of headaches, he's still got the shakes, but he's doing pretty good other than that.
There's a milk on the counter, Cheryl.
Okay.
Hey, Willow, there's a note on the counter.
Milk.
Oh, milk.
Drawing on the counter. Yeah.
Why is there milk on the counter?
Huh?
Why is there milk on the counter?
There's a jug of milk thawing.
Why do you thaw your milk? Why do you freeze your milk? That's weird.
When you buy excess milk, you can put it in the freezer.
Yeah, it doesn't taste good after that.
We do it.
It's fine.
Ugh.
Bye, sis. Love you. She's
But
off.
then again, milk doesn't last long enough to even freeze it in my house. You can buy 3 gallon and it's gone within that week.
Well,
You
with
know,
just me and her, we can't get through a half gallon, so we freeze.
You know, especially if it's chocolate milk.
Yeah. That's still not going anywhere.
It is not.
I got
No, we just
Cody a gallon of chocolate milk, and she got 1 glass of chocolate milk out of it.
Technically, I got this much, like 6 ounces out of it.
And Junior drank the rest of it.
little piggy, isn't he?
And I was like, because I waited like 2 days because I was trying to make it last, you know. I'm like, I haven't had chocolate milk in 2 years. I want it to last. And like the day after, it was like 2 days later. I was like, we were having cheeseburgers and french fries. I'm like, hey, can you grab me a glass of chocolate milk? I mean, I can't have a chocolate shake. Chocolate milk's close enough, right? And he was like, I'm like, what? He goes, we don't have any. I was like, you motherfucker. I was like, are you telling me you drank the entire gallon? He was like, you know, I'm like, you realize that at least half of that was mine. Technically, the whole thing was mine. I shared with you. And you drank it. I'm like, what is wrong? I'm like, you know, my friend got that for me, and I shared it with you. Do you really think it's fair that you drank it all? He goes, I was like, think carefully. Answer carefully. He's like, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, I was like, this will not pass. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, that was what, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And he has been reminded about it almost every day.
I used to have problems like that with sis. Yeah, let's say that egg sucking little habit.
So
She's
this
got
time
a
in my
really bad
relationship,
habit of, you know, like you'd buy something,
Mhm.
you'd get a serving, and it would all go away except for like one.
Yep.
Or if you were lucky, 2, like jelly beans in a bag. She might leave
Yeah.
1 or 2 in the bag. And I'm like, what part of did you eat the whole thing? Do you not understand? You know.
I left a little bit in there. 2 does not count as a little bit.
My
I used
son
to have that
used
problem growing up as a kid. Her and Van, Mom would buy like a 6-pack of like soda pop cans, you know, and
2 a piece, right?
yeah, 2 apiece. No, I'd be lucky to get 1.
Well, my son used to do that thing where, well, you didn't eat it. We got it yesterday, you know, like with half gallons of ice cream. With half gallons of ice cream or something. And I'd go to get mine 2 days later and it's gone. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Who the hell ate my ice cream? And he'd be like, well, you didn't eat it. I'm like, we got it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
The fuck, you know? And he's
Yeah.
like, well, I was hungry. I'm like, that doesn't mean that you can just eat something that's mine without even asking me.
You know those 3-pound tubs of like swirled ice cream?
Yeah.
We got stuff like that when we were kids a lot. You know, I don't remember if they had those then, but you know, we'd get, you know, a bulk of ice cream of some kind or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be lucky to get like 1 scoop out of the whole thing because
Yeah.
those 2 would inhale it and it'd be gone in 24 hours, you know. And Mom got to the point to where she would say she bought a 6-pack of sodas. She'd buy them a 6-pack and she'd buy me a 6-pack. And she would tell them, you touch this 6-pack and you're doomed. That one, you guys get a share because you're fucking pigs. This one, she can take as long as she wants to drink it. You touch it, you're dead.
No,
It
it's
didn't help.
not the only
It
thing.
did it
It's,
anyways. Well, you only had 4 left.
Timmy,
You know.
I was waiting.
that shall not pass either. Just saying. Yeah, but I mean, that's when you were kids. He's an adult.
Yeah, but she was still doing it up until we moved in here together. She's almost 60. We moved here 7 years ago. So she was older than me now when we moved here.
Yeah.
And she was still pulling that shit. And I told her, I said, it's done. I'm paying for half the shit in this house. So half
Yeah.
of it belongs to me.
Hmm.
You know, you eat the whole fucking thing and you're going to go buy another one. I don't care if you got to pull teeth to pay for it.
Well, see, I didn't get any. My son got himself ice cream like the last 3 times he went to the store. And he didn't ask me if I wanted any. He didn't get me any treats or anything. And I mean, he got a lot of treats when he got a stimulus, and I didn't get any. He didn't, like if I had gotten mine first, I would have gotten him snacks and treats and food and whatever. But he did not. So my stimulus, when I finally eventually get it, will not be going none of it will be going towards him.
Well, the funny
Sorry.
thing is, she's my big sister. Supposed to set an example for your younger siblings? Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm the one that grew up. She didn't in that regard. But she's gotten better. But I still have to keep her in check. Because, yeah. Well, it just sounded really, really, really good. And I'm like, yeah, same here. Except there isn't any left.
Right.
You know?
Right. Try
Well,
that
that's
living in
when-
a household where you got a 17-year-old son, and even younger when he was still younger. You couldn't keep anything in the refrigerator or in the pantry or whatever. And still to this day, I have to keep dry goods in my bedroom so that they don't get eaten. Because
Same thing, except mine's 26.
he'll eat them if it's not left in my room.
Yep.
If it's put out in the kitchen where it
59.
belongs, and
So
I
does
go to
mine.
finally get something when I want it,
Yep.
it's not there.
Same.
Yeah. My little monster's 59. Yeah. But, yeah, she's gotten better because I just don't put up with her shit.
Love you, Tim.
know? You got to grow up eventually, and it's going to start now because we ain't pulling this shit. You know, used to be when I worked, she had stuff for her lunch, I had stuff for mine. Because, we both took our lunches for work.
Yeah.
And I didn't touch hers because it was for work. She didn't have a problem getting in my shit and fucking it up.
Yeah.
As in making it go away. And I was like, excuse me, I bought that for my lunch outside of the grocery budget. Yours is bought in the grocery budget. You don't buy it separate. And get the fuck out of my shit and stay out of there, And it just didn't register in her head. But
Yeah, after my son drank my last 6-pack of Pepsi, when someone had bought me a bunch of 6-packs and they were all out there, I have to keep all my soda in my room. I keep when I get Pringles, I keep all of that in my room. And look behind me. Do I look like I have room to store food too? No.
I know.
So it all gets piled up next to my bed because otherwise I can't reach it. I have no room. It's a good thing I can't walk around because I wouldn't be able to. There's nowhere to walk.
Well,
I told Mom, I said, you need to buy locked cabinets to use as a pantry. And she almost did it.
My friend Jackie that I moved, well, she used to be my friend, but she was my friend at the time. She had her and her husband had a big walk-in closet, and they had a padlock on it. And she's like, come in here and talk to me while I'm getting my shoes on and stuff. So I walked in, I'm like, why does because it seemed kind of freaky that her closet had a padlock on. I'm like, why does your closet have a padlock? She goes, keep Chad out. I'm like, does he wear your dresses or something? Her son Chad was 21. And she's like, no, but that's where we keep the food we don't want him to have. And I'm like, oh, that's where they kept all their Mountain Dew. They had a small refrigerator in there, like, the dorm refrigerators. And they kept all their snacks and cookies and whatnot. Any food they didn't want him to have, they kept in there. And I'm like, huh.
but yes, I understand that totally.
Yeah.
I have a space in here that I told Tim, I said, if my son didn't start staying out of certain freezer goods like
Ice cream.
ice cream, frozen snacks, pizza rolls, because technically, even though pizza rolls are a snack, there's nights when neither one of us would want to cook or whatever. You throw together, pizza rolls. Here it's dinner or hot
Finger
pockets.
food. Finger food
Finger
dinner.
food,
Yeah.
throw it in the microwave, throw it in the oven real quick. Just quick and easy.
Yeah.
I said, I'll move our little, 5.5 cubic upright freezer. I'll move it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Don't think I won't.
You know, what was worse was when I lived at Jackie's house in Florida. She had an upright freezer. She had a separate freezer that was on her utility room with the washer and dryer. And then they had like a side-by-side fridge, which is why they got the stand-up, is because that freezer is this narrow, what you can't do anything with that. So I used to get breakfast Hot Pockets, which are really good. They're tasty. And they were disappearing like faster than I was eating them. And I'm like, and one day I watched Chad go get something to eat, and he took out one of my breakfast, Hot Pockets and put it in. I'm like, Chad, why are you eating my stuff? He goes, well, it's in our house and I want to eat it. And I'm like, so I looked at Jackie and she goes, what? I'm like, what is that didn't come out of our grocery budget that I bought separately for me? And you don't see anything wrong with the fact that he's eating it? And she's like, no, if he wants to have it, he can have it. I'm like, okay. So the next time the food stamps thing came up, next month or whatever, the food stamps came up, I only gave her half. She's like, why? I was like, because he's eating all my food that I buy myself. So no.
Right.
See, Jackie used to have people come and stay at their house, and she would demand their food stamp card. Like they had to give her that. She told me all I would have to pay is $300 a month for rent for me and my son, by the way, $300 a month. And, everything's included, like cable and internet and all that. I'm like, okay. And, but I didn't use the internet. Or the cable. I just use internet. But she never said anything about my food stamp card. So when, like, the second day we were there, she was like, so I'll need your food stamp card. And I'm like, why? She goes, well, because I need to go shopping. I'm like, uh-huh. I'm like, well, then I'll go with you. And she goes, well, you can just give me the card. I'm like, but I'm not gonna. And she's like, why not? And I was like, because it's mine. She goes, well, you're living here, so I do the shopping, so I might as well have it. And I'm like, no. And she got mad, and I would not give her the card. I'm like, look, if you want food, I will go with you. I'm like, but you're not spending all my food stamps on your stuff. Because she wanted to buy Mountain Dew and her snacks and stuff that go in her room. And I'm like, why am I paying for that?
Right.
I've been here one day. I haven't even eaten any of your food yet. I'm like, what the? So I went and I spent like $30 on her stuff. And she's like, I still think, she nagged me the whole way home. I still think you should give me the food stamp card. And I'm like, and I think I should not.
Yeah.
I finally, when we got to the house and she expected me to carry her groceries in, which was not happening. I was like, look, your son is 26 years old. He's perfectly healthy. Have him come out and carry groceries. I'm like, I have a bad back. I'm disabled. I'm not carrying your fucking Mountain Dew. Your cases of Mountain Dew. I mean, she bought like 3 cases of Mountain Dew in the can. I'm like, no. And
That's a
I
lot
finally
of
told her,
food.
I finally told her, I was like, Jackie, do not ask me for my food stamp card again. You are not getting it. I am not handing you my food stamp card. I do not know why this is such a thing for you, but it's not happening.
Yeah, no.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I will
that's
help pay.
weird.
I will help pay for food that is for meals for us, and I will pay for my own snacks and things. But I'm not buying your snacks. This is a one-time thing. It's not going to happen. And she goes, well, that's not right. I'm like, no, it is right. And I walked inside, and she was all pissy. I'm like, I didn't care. And later on, my friends Michelle and Stuart, who I ended up moving in with after the whole Jackie situation blew up. And I called them and said, help me. When I moved in with them, they were like, we're surprised that you still have your food stamp card. And I'm like, why? They're like, well, because that's a requirement of Jackie. When anybody lives with her, she takes their food stamp card. I was like, yeah, she tried that. Second day I was here. They're like, and you didn't give it to her? I'm like, nope. They were like, and she didn't make you. I'm like, how how the hell is she going to make me do anything?
Not happening.
Yeah. Because mind you, at the time I still had both legs. I was able to walk. Not well, but I could walk. I mean, she kicked my door in, and I told her, I said, you have 30 seconds to get the fuck out of my room, or I'm tossing you out and I'm calling the cops and telling them that you did this because I pay rent. This room is paid for. This is my domain. You cannot kick my door in. Just
Right.
because you are a bitch, you cannot kick my door in. I said, I will pick you up and throw you out of my room. Get out. And we were nose to nose, and she backed down, but
That's
All
ridiculous.
all because I wouldn't clean the microwave because her son kept blowing up Hot Pockets.
He's
Not my
old
kid,
enough
not
to
my
clean up
mess.
his own damn messes.
Not my kid, not my mess. He's 26. If he can't clean it up himself, then it's your job because you're his mother.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had people over the years when I was young try shit like that if I stayed with them and stuff. And of course, I didn't have, like a food card back then or anything, but yeah, they try to get me to, oh, well, you got paid today. We need some groceries.
Mm.
Like, no, you think you need some groceries, but I need groceries and I'm going to buy my own groceries with my own money, just like you're going to do whenever you get paid.
Well, like she would deliberately leave her laundry. Like I'd let her know, Jackie, I need to do laundry tomorrow. So can you make sure the washer and dryer are free? She's like, oh yeah, no problem. I'd go to put my stuff in the dryer and they'd have clothes in there. Or I go to put it in the washer and there'd be clothes in the washer. What do you not understand about making sure the washer and dryer are clear? And why are there clothes in the washer? I'm like, you knew I was that dude. And see, I got in trouble because I just took her clothes and I threw them in the dryer. And then when they were done in the dryer, I took them and put them in the laundry basket, put them on the dining room table for her instead of throwing them on the couch for the dog to lay on, which is what I really wanted to do. And I got reprimanded because I did not hang Donnie's t-shirts because he doesn't want his t-shirts dried, and because I did not fold their clothes. I said, excuse me? I was like, let me get this straight. I told you I was going to need to use the washer and dryer. So you deliberately did a load of laundry and left it in the washer so that I would do your laundry. Don't do that again, because it's not going to happen.
First off, I wouldn't have put it into the dryer. I would have took it out wet, put it in a fucking laundry basket, and left it sitting.
Yeah.
Once you got done with the machine, put it back in the machine.
Well, that's what I told her I would do next time. I said, the next time you leave laundry, when I tell you, because I always give an advance warning, I need to use it tomorrow or whatever. And if they say, well, I was planning on doing laundry tomorrow, I'll be like, all right, well, I'll use it the next day or whatever, because I'm considerate when I live with people. And I was like, the next time you do that, I said, I'm taking all your wet shit out of the washer. I said, I'm doing my laundry and I'm putting all your wet shit back in the washer. And it's going to sit there until whenever you decide to come home, thinking that I've done your job for you. I am not your damn maid. Yeah, no. So, and apparently that's what she expected you to do when you shut up. I mean, I told her I would help and I would keep things neat. Like I would not make a mess.
Yeah.
And then I would keep my room neat, and I did. But I wasn't, I mean, she started just leaving shit. When I got there, the house was clean. And she started leaving shit everywhere and yelling at me for not clean. I'm like, I'm not your damn maid, Jackie.
Yeah.
Pick up after yourself. And Michelle told me that that's what she did, is whenever anybody moved in with her, she expected them to be her maid. And I'm like, not happening. I mean, she left, she went to a bowling tournament when she didn't bowl in Orlando. And I get a phone call at 7:00 in the morning saying she was gone. She was already on her way. Chad's meds are blah, blah, blah. Don't let the kids wreck the house. There was underage kids in that house that she had bought booze for, that were all getting high and having sex in the house. I stayed in my room, but with her gone, I would have to venture out of my room and deal with them. And I was not dealing with them. I'm like, no, I'm being the only adult in the house. I'd go to jail for it, contributing to delinquency, and that carries a year sentence. I'm like,
No. Pass.
and like $2,500 fine. I'm like, hell no. So I called her and I was like, you need to get your ass back here. And she goes, I'm already on the road. I'm like, I don't give a damn. I'm not dealing with this. This is not my responsibility. You didn't even tell me you were leaving. You freaking, because she had left at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I got woken up by her call at 7:30, something like that.
Nope.
I'm like,
Hard pass.
and I waited until 9 o'clock because it's rude to call people before 9 a.m. in the morning unless it's a medical emergency. If someone's not bleeding or in a coma, don't call. And I called Michelle and Stuart and I said, is that deal still available for me to stay with you guys? And she was like, of course it is. I was like, help me. She's like, what happened? And I told her, she goes, oh, hell no. She goes, we'll be there in 10 minutes. And they showed up with his pickup truck. We loaded all my stuff up. He made 2 trips, loaded all my stuff up. And Chad ended up calling his mom. And he's like, my mom wants to talk to you. I'm like, I really don't give a damn what your mom wants. I was like, I'm not interested. I'm busy. So he put her on speakerphone and she started screaming at me. And then Michelle, who's this thing's soaking wet, but let me tell you, she a firecracker. She ripped into Jackie. Oh, I'm surprised Jackie was able to sit down after that. She was hot. Michelle was mad. And so they moved me out. And Chad proceeded to break into his mom's bedroom and steal her wedding band and her engagement ring that Donnie had given her, and all of her gaming systems and anything of value basically that was in her room, and pawned it. Him and his friends decided it would be fun to let the Boston Terriers fight. So her purebred Boston Terrier, the younger one, has a big, it looks like the dog's got a hair lip. She's missing half her nose. The only thing that I felt bad for was the dogs. And if I could have taken them with me, I would have. I actually asked Michelle and Stuart, do you think we can take the Bostons up to your house until she gets home? I said, because I'm really worried they're not going to be taken care of. And she goes, well, we'll call Pat to go and check on them and take care of them. And I'm like, all right, because Pat lived across the street. But they let the dogs, they didn't ever put them out. Apparently Jackie came home, the whole house was covered in dog shit. And I'm like, because that's the other thing. She left me responsible for her dogs too, without even asking me. I'm like, so no, I could not risk myself going to jail in Florida and getting that big of a fine because she's irresponsible. She had guardianship of Chad. Even though he was over the age of 18, he had mental issues. He was on a whole bunch of medications. So she was responsible for anything he did. She could get in trouble for it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a hot mess.
Yeah, it was. Seriously, it was bad. But on the upside, Michelle and Stuart were absolutely fantastic, and their dogs were beautiful. Oh my God, these dogs were so beautiful. And Simi had a blast playing with big dogs for a change. And the yard was huge. It was like a 1/4 acre. Their yard was just huge. And yeah, so actually it was bigger than, I would say it was like maybe 3/4 of an acre. It was pretty damn big. And that was just the backyard. So, yeah. I met some very nice people that way. But Jackie had tried to get it so that Michelle and Stuart and I wouldn't be friends. When I first moved down there, she started talking all kinds of crap about me to them. And when they met me, she basically told them I worship Satan and all this stuff. Because Michelle and Stuart were very Christian. They were Baptist. And they were very into their church and all of that, which is fine. But they were horrified. They wouldn't even look at me when I first met them. And then when Jackie bailed on taking care of their dogs, and my crippled ass was walking a 1/4 mile to get to their house and back to take care of their dogs, because she just handed me the key to their house. Who hands somebody a key to somebody's house without the person who has the house's permission? Jackie's like, I don't feel like doing it here. You go up and do it. I'm like, but I don't have permission to be in their house. I had only met them twice, mind you, before this. And it was for 5 minutes each time. And all they had been hearing is a bunch of shit about me. So I'm like, I don't even know them. I'm like, why? I've never been to their house. Why would you hand me the key? And she goes, because I don't feel like doing it. And I couldn't let the dogs suffer like that, you know? I mean, they were in crates, large ones, I mean, gigantic ones, but still crates. So I went up there and round one. I went up there, I let the babies out and let them run amok. Run amok.
I was say amok, amok, amok.
And then I fed them and then I let them out and I let them play for another hour or so outside because I needed the time to rest my back to make the walk back. And I did that for 2 weeks that Michelle and Stuart were gone and they were in Tennessee. And when they came back, they went to give Jackie $100 for watching their dogs. Instead of her manning up and saying, well, Cody should really get it because she's the one that did it, she went, thank you, and put it in her pocket. Well, she had it in her hand. She went to put it in her pocket. And I was like, oh, by the way, here's your key. And I handed Stuart the key. And he took the key from me and looked at me and looked at Jackie. And he was like, why does she have the key to our house? And I was like, oh, Jackie didn't want to take care of your dogs, so she asked me to do it. Stuart snatched the $100 out of her hand and handed it to me. And he was like, Michelle, why don't you talk to Cody a little bit? I'm going to talk to Jackie. I was like, oh, that's not going to go over well. So I went outside and Michelle told me about all the crap that Jackie had been saying. And she asked if had any problems with the dogs. I said, your dogs are beautiful. I was like, and, I watered your plants while I was there. And she was like, oh, thank you. Jackie never waters them. They're already almost dead by the time we get home. She goes, you don't know how many times I've had to replace my plants. I was like, well, they're still alive. She goes, thank you. And, so, but that's just the kind of person Jackie was. Takes credit for something somebody else did and take the money.
Crazy.
She hadn't even told me there was money involved. She was probably hoping that I wasn't awake or wasn't paying attention when Stuart and Michelle came home.
Yeah, she was probably pissed off that didn't wash.
Oh, she was furious. She was like, you should give me at least half of that. I'm like, why? You didn't do anything. You didn't even give me a ride up there. I had to walk. I'm crippled and I had to walk. She goes, well, you were up there long enough. I'm like, because I had to let my back rest so I could walk back. The first couple of times there were a couple of times before this incident, like the time before when they went on their trip because Stuart worked for a hospital. He did IT and he had to go and run different things for the different hospitals in Tennessee. So they were gone like 2 weeks out of every month. And when I first moved up there, Jackie had me come up with her a couple of times. She had my son come up with her a couple of times, especially when the dogs had an accident in the crate and Jackie didn't want to clean it. My son went up there and took care of it. I think they gave him money when he did that. I'm not sure because she did tell them that he helped clean it up. And then there were a couple of times when she just handed me her car keys and their key and said, I'm too tired to go deal with the dogs today. She's like, can you run up and do it? So I got to drive her car up there, But then when she finally didn't want anything else to do with it, she wouldn't let me use the car. Because I asked. And she's like, no, I don't really want the car to be used to go up there right now. She could have at least tried to tell me she was out of gas. You know what I mean? But no, she just.
Like your experience was really high, but what he was like on a professional level.
But on the plus side, again, those dogs got used to the smell of my dog, the scent of my dog on me, and they got used to me before I ended up having to move in there. So, and I ended up with people who understood animals.
I don't know. It's amazing how some people will take advantage of others. It's just insane.
Yep, it is.
And that somehow they think it's okay in their mind.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's car alarm just went off.
Yeah, I hear that.
Hear it. Yep.
For a minute, I almost thought it was someplace here.
I mean, she talked a bunch of crap about me to the neighbor across the street, Miss Pat. When Miss Pat came over with her granddaughter, and I came out and I met her and I was talking to them, and I went to say hi to the granddaughter. She grabbed the granddaughter and like pulled her behind her, and I'm like, That is the oddest reaction I've ever gotten from anyone. It's because Jackie kept telling everybody I was a Satanist. I'm like, what? So I was sitting outside one day and I saw Pat and I was like, hey, Pat. And Jackie wasn't home. She noticed the car wasn't there. And if the car wasn't there, Jackie wasn't there because Dawn never drove. And she came over and she's like, hey, everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I just didn't feel like sitting in the back because the sun is beating down. So I decided I'd sit in the front to smoke my cigarette. And she's like, oh, okay. She goes, well, make sure you don't leave cigarette butts out here because Dawn will get mad. I'm like, yes, I know. I have my cup. And I had this little styrofoam cup or whatever. And she's like, okay, good. I'm like, by the way, Pat, has Jackie been talking a bunch of crap about me? Now, Pat was like 70 years old. So,
Yeah.
you know, and she's like, well, what do you mean by crap? I mean, saying negative things. And she goes, well, yeah. I'm like that I'm a Satanist and, you know, I do all these bad things and that I never do anything for her and all that. And she goes, yeah. I'm like, I'm not a Satanist, first of all. You know, to each their own with that, but I am not a Satanist. I said, and I refuse to be her maid. That's why she's mad. I was like, because she wants me to pick up after all three of them in this house. It's like, and I'm not doing it because one, I'm disabled. She goes, you're disabled? I'm like, oh, I guess she forgot to mention that too. I'm like, yeah, I had a really bad back. She goes, I didn't know that. And I was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds. I was like, but she wants me to take care of her dog. She wants me to clean up after Chad. I was like, you know, and explain the whole thing to her. I was like, now you can believe me or not. That's up to you. But that's my side of me. And I said, I don't know exactly what Jackie told you. I said, I know she told Michelle and Stuart that I was a Satan worshiper or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but I don't know what else she's told people. I was like, but that's not how I am. I was like, but if she ever says anything to you, you want to ask me about it, I say, go ahead. So after that, Pat was kind of mad at Jackie because I guess she realized, I don't know, she decided I was telling the truth. Because Jackie had gotten caught in a lot of lies.
Imagine that.
Who'd have thunk?
Well, you know, you can only lie so much before you get caught. And then trying to lie on top of the lies and keep everything straight, it'll get you every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
People never seem to figure that out, though. They think they're so smart.
Yeah, everybody else is stupid. They'll never figure that out. So, and later on, when Stuart and Michelle had to move to Tampa, Florida, and they were going to take me with them, they just couldn't afford the pet deposits with an extra dog. They told me that, you know, of all the people they've ever had stay with them, that I was the best roommate they had. So that made me feel, that made me feel good. They were gonna pay a pet deposit for me to move with them. But the Tampa pet deposits were $300 per dog, and that was the lowest one they could find.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
And they already had 2 dogs, so that's an extra $600. So, but they were going to pay for a big enough truck for me to fit all my stuff in, and you know, for me to go with them because they loved me. even though they didn't really need me to watch their dogs anymore, they still want to be there because the dogs loved me. I mean, they would have family that would come in that these dogs wouldn't greet that happily. You know what I mean?
Look, and life could have been so good right now.
I know, right? But it was not meant to be. And then I got really lucky with the last person that I stayed with Mike, because he was a security guard for a condo complex, and he worked nights. And then he slept during the day, and we were fine. We never saw each other, basically. And he was 72, so he was up there. Or he was 65, 70, something like that. And then, but that didn't work because I wasn't able to stay with him because the owner of the condo complex wanted him to move into one of the condo units, and she did not want me to go because the elderly were banging and she didn't want witnesses or company, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So, and I figured I got really lucky with Mike because I found him on Craigslist. The first guy was really creepy that I talked to. about staying there. He was very, very creepy. I mean, asking me if I have a problem with the fact that he has tuberculosis. Yeah, I kind of do, because he was calling me constantly, and he lived with his mom, which, I mean, in today's times, I understand that, but he gave off that really creepy vibe, and I'm just like,
Well, and TB is
No,
contagious.
it wasn't TB. I'm sorry, it was Hep C. He had Hep C.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Pardon me.
You know? Mm-mm. So, yeah, so I was really lucky when with Mike, because, I mean, I could cook what I wanted as long as I didn't leave. The only thing he got mad about, or I wouldn't say mad, but upset about, the only thing he spoke to me about was leaving anything in the sink. He didn't like anything to be in the sink. So I had to either wash what I used or put it in the dishwasher. And then after he got home from work or whatever, woke up and ate whatever, he would run the dishwasher with. That man ran the dishwasher with like 4 plates in it. I'm like, 4 plates and like 3 forks or something. I mean, there was not enough in there to be water efficient. But
Justified. Yeah.
But it was his washer, so you do you, dude.
Right? There's some folks that are that way.
Yeah. My mother has a dishwasher, and she won't use it except on holiday dinners, where she cooks excess food, like for more people.
Yeah.
Then she'll use the dishwasher, but normally normal dinners and stuff, she won't use it because it uses too much water.
Well, there's only the 4 of them in the house. I mean,
yeah.
Well, granted, there's teenagers in the house. They still dirty a shit ton of dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. Not as much though, because they don't really cook anything.
Well, there's bowls of cereal.
Yeah.
Plates for sandwiches.
And my mom's the only one doing dishes in that house, so.
Had to get me a Ludens for my tickle in my throat.
Well, last month was my daughter's birthday. This month is my middle daughter's birthday. My daughter Kayla, her birthday is the 4th. She'd be 27, I think.
I hit this half-century mark in 10 days.
Woo! And you did your live before your birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, the half-century mark's done come and went for Cody and me both.
I'm sorry, she'll be 28. It's my son that will be 27 on his birthday. Well, I mean, I haven't physically seen my middle child in, I don't know, like 10 years, something like that. So, when they're not in sight and you don't get to celebrate days with them, the memory plays tricks on you when,
I get it. God, she's been to work. What, 20 minutes?
North Carolina.
Am I going to do a birthday live? I don't know. Probably. Maybe.
Are you, Tina? I love you, Tina.
I don't know. Probably. Maybe.
Yes. You said yes wrong.
Apparently I am, Wendy. So that would be April 11th.
Sorry, I'm
No,
closing
my name's
on my
Lori.
email to make sure I don't have any invoices or anything I need to get paid.
That sucks, Wendy. Sorry.
It's not like you're gonna go off on your own. Start looking at plays or something.
Yeah, I'm not much of a giver.
Of course, you're a classy lady.
I have
I had to contact a seller yesterday. I got 2 invoices
Uh-huh.
back to back, and looked at, I was like, well, I don't think I've bought twice from her. And, not that I'd bought twice from her, but not, like in one cycle or whatever. So I was like, what's the deal? So I opened them both, compared them, they were different amounts and blah, blah, blah. And I got to looking, and one of them said bill to somebody entirely different.
Mhm.
And I was like, ew, okay, so that ain't mine. Because I looked, like at the itemized, and it wasn't anything that I recalled buying.
Yeah.
And I write everything down. So I was checking my list, and I'm like, no, that ain't mine. No, that ain't mine. And then that's when I noticed, oh, different name on the bill to thing.
Yeah.
So I paid mine, the one that I knew was mine, and then I emailed her and let her know I got 2 invoices, different amounts, and did the research. And yeah, one of them is for such and such, not me. I think you got the data in paperwork or something wrong because you sent me their bill. And I don't know how I did that. I don't know either, but just fix it.
Oh, that reminds me. Linda, are you still in the chat?
I think she went and got tea, and I don't recall her coming back.
Tea doesn't take that long, woman. Hurry up.
Oh, she's still coming up. Linda.
Well, yeah.
She might have an auction going somewhere that she's sidetracked.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Linda, I got a big box from Moonstone Mamas that had your name on it. And there was a big jewelry bag in it, and a small bag that had bracelets and various stuff. One of the bracelets is broken, and there were 2 little sodalite crosses, and one of the crosses is broken. And there's a bunch of orange beads in the bottom of the bag, but I haven't found anything that had orange beads that were broken. Sorry. She's like, ah! Yeah.
Linda needs to come on and hang out with us. Linda came in the back room last night on a live.
Moonstone Mamas, Linda.
Moonstone Mama.
Yeah, from Devon. Moonstone Mamas. It's a big box that has stuff in it. I didn't know if that's the one that you were talking about that you thought should have come to me, but then you thought I went to Sweden, or I have no idea. I didn't go through the large bag because it's like a gallon-sized Ziploc full of stuff. I didn't go through that, but I did go through the little blue bag. Hold on a second, I can reach it.
It says might because one was a crafts lot.
Well, there's nothing else. The only 2 things that are broken are those 2 things. Because I thought it might have been a craft lot too, but
I know kung fu.
let's see. Because it's got this Almost looks like it's supposed to be a dragon pattern. It's got this dragon pattern blue bracelet in it. And it's got these, a purple and a dark gray sparkly bracelets. And those are fine. And then it had this one, which did not travel well.
Make her big so we can see better, Tina.
That's what I was thinking, especially on that one.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is mangled. Nothing else is damaged in the, except for that one cross. But
Well, that thing is
this,
gnarly.
yeah, and I
Wow.
believe it was, I believe the pieces that were glued on there are polymer clay. Yeah, ouch. Because I do have, yeah, see, this is one of the crosses, but this one's the whole one. And there's another one like this, but it's in two pieces.
Snapped.
Yeah, it snapped. And then there's, this is pretty. It's all funky colors and stuff. I don't know. That's all in one piece. Trying to get to the bottom of the bag so that I can. Come on. I didn't want to pull everything out. And there's a shoe. I don't know. You know, Linda, I just.
Just a random shoe.
Well, it's a necklace, I think. But see,
I
the little
know.
pieces. This piece broke in half, but see the little piece? It's definitely, it looks like a polymer clay on the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that, I took that out and it was like this thing was second from the top, so I didn't do it. You can make me smile now. So that and the cross and orange, little tiny orange seed beads. Now there is something in the big bag, which I'm not, it's on my floor right now and I'm not lifting it, it's heavy. But there is a necklace or something in the other bag that's orange seed beads. So I'm wondering if that started off in this bag and then was transferred into the big bag. I don't know, but if that's the case, then it broken. It's missing a string somewhere. Is it's another piece of it.
Kind of a perplexing conundrum.
Yeah, and then she got this. This thing is loud as hell. And I'm like, what is Linda doing? Getting belly dancing jewelry or something? What's happening? Because it's all these little discs. I'm like, Linda, what are you up to? It's all these little round discs. I'm like, it's like a cowbell. You put this on, you'll be able to hear people come. Yeah. But yeah, there's one white rose earring with no back on it. That was the other thing.
Will you send me some pics on what's broken so I can show Devin?
Yeah, I will.
Linda said, ever heard of mystery bags?
It could be. And then there's one little, it's not going to show up because of my lighting, but it's one little rose freaking post earring. But yeah, I will definitely take pictures of that and send it to you through Facebook Messenger if you want, or I can send it to your email. That way you can just forward it. Yeah, some of this stuff is really pretty because it's like a whole bag of stuff that was in the bag of stuff. And I was like, I'm like, look, Linda goodies. I'm looking at all of it.
Goodie bags are always fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will do that for you. I was worried about putting stuff back in the bag. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want anything else to break. But yeah, I thought this little shoe was cute because it's like, oh, okay, it's an adjustable. It's got the slide knots on it, so you can adjust the length on it. But it's a shoe, and it's got a cross on it. It's got the iron cross on it.
Looks like a goth hobo shoe
Yeah, I don't know,
kind of thing.
but it's cute. And the cord could be replaced. The cord looks really old, but it still functions because I just slid the knots.
I love the
That
look of
works.
cords, but I don't wear them because they'd hold bacteria, and with my skin condition.
Yeah. And she's got one of those, you know, the native things that they do with the teeth? You know, it's like a tooth with an animal carved on it. She's got a turtle.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's a turtle. And it's like a big tooth. Make me small.
I'm working on it.
Turtle.
I was like, ooh, turtle.
Turtle, turtle, turtle. Turtle, turtle.
She also has a parrot. Not the same style though. It's just a little metal parrot.
She says,
Like a little parrot. So yeah, I mean, it could definitely be, you know, a mystery bag. So, but I didn't know if you would recognize that because the outside of the blue bag has different prices. I'm not gonna hold it up there long enough for people to really read it, but like individual things on the bag that are in the bag are listed. So yeah, I will send you pictures of what broke.
which doesn't sound like craft lot goods.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
means you
if,
paid for them, and if they're broke, then
yeah, I mean, if it was a craft lot, then there would be more than just 2 items in here that were broken.
Yeah.
The big bag might be. The big bag could be a craft lot. I haven't looked in the big bag, but where there are individual items listed all down the side of this, and 2 of them are, well, one of them is a bangle, or it says bangles. So I don't know if it was just a group lot, because Devin does that too. She'd be like, all right, well, I have this group of bangles, you know, and
everybody
pops them
does
all
do
up.
that.
So I'll get to you. You're welcome. I got you. These are pretty and sparkly, though. I was like, oh, sparkly. You know me. I'm like, oh, shiny. So, yeah, while I caught you, because you don't always see my messages. So that's why I hadn't sent you a message about it. It's like, and then I saw you the other day in the chat, and I'm like, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something. And I just happened sitting here. I'm like, do. I happen to look over and see the blue bag. And I'm like, oh, Linda. Sorry. I got it the 26th. So it wasn't that long ago.
It's like, Linda, jewelry. Yes. Hey, Linda.
Yeah. I was like, I know there's jewelry in there. I might not be able to wear costume jewelry, but the stuff that I like in costume jewelry, I like to, you know.
Yeah.
I can still like it. I just can't wear it.
Right? Said, oh, Linda.
Oh, I got a tickler. Oh, am I gonna sneeze or it's making my eyes water?
Oh, man. Allergies have been horrible for me.
Well, the cross, I think the price for this is for the crosses because it has like a T. And the shoe is listed on here. And there's a couple of pendants, but she might have moved stuff around too. So, you know, the bangles might have been in the other bag. I don't know. I don't know.
So ready to start looking forward instead of constantly watching.
And it has the bag itself has your name on it. It says Linda at the top and then has a list. So that's how she keeps track of when someone buys something so that she doesn't have to
Say nothing.
I'm sure that as soon as her auction starts and she sees Linda, she just grabs one of the mailers and writes her name on it going, I know this is going to, Linda going to buy stuff. So we're just going to start an envelope for her now. Get plenty of room. And it's easier. She doesn't have to keep writing Linda's name down, you know?
Exactly. That she knows.
The other thing is Lenny said he still hasn't heard from you. And I know it's not really right of him to ask me to contact you about my birthday present. That seems a little pushy, but if you're not able to do it, don't worry about it. Just let him know so that he can sell it the next time he does an auction, and it's fine. But he said that he was trying to get in touch with you. I sent you a message about it. I don't remember when I sent the message, but in Facebook. But he had said he couldn't reach you, that he thinks he had the wrong email, so I gave you his email, and on his live the other night he said he still hadn't heard from you. So that the items
on Sandy's channel, Lynn was there and Lenny was there, and Lenny was asking Lynn about it in the chat, and I explained to him about financial crisis due to medical crap and what have you, and he's fine holding for now.
Yeah.
So
well, we had already told him that when you and I were on his live. We told him that.
I know, but I told him on a live with her in the chat, you know. So
Be right back.
I just wanted to let her know that it was fine. If she can't do it, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, just let him know.
I won't pout or cry or anything. Promise.
Crap happens.
Yeah, it does.
It's like a nerve ending going off in my nose. So I did my Flonase. Hopefully that'll stop it.
I don't think you're lit.
Bad shit today.
There you go. Now I see smoke.
I have good suction.
Woohoo!
Not here. Oh God, Wendy. We're warming back up. I got a window open today. Tomorrow I'll be able to have the whole house open. So
England shuts down when there's snow. Everybody's like, "Oh, there's snow. We don't have to work today."
So does half of our southern states. And
Okay, Linda. You never know where emails end up. Okay. He knows now, so it's okay. I mean, he did say, Willow, didn't he say he didn't have a problem holding on to it until she was able to? Yeah, he doesn't have a problem holding on to it.
Yep, he said he was good.
Good, Wendy. I'm glad they're slowly coming off lockdown. This is crazy.
We're still in motherfucking phase 3 and have been since last spring. So, like
It's
June.
getting windy. It's getting windy in my neighborhood.
I haven't seen Lee in ages. I miss him. He doesn't say a lot, but I miss him.
Lee
I've
was
seen him
in
somewhere. I don't remember where.
the music chats. He's been going into these music chats.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll be right back because Marty is awake and the jewelry is still on the bed. So I'm going to put it back where it was so the cat can't get to it. I don't want to have to take more pictures than necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be right back.
I'm waiting for my weather app to load, and it's like the little thing is going. And usually it's like.
Yeah.
So if I start roboting, it's probably because this thing's accessing me. Oh, there we go.
all safe and sound.
And in May you're moving back home, getting the heck out of Spain. Yay!
Finally. Yeah, the high today is 60.
I don't know what it was today. I know it was sunny, and tomorrow's supposed to be sunny, so my mom will actually make it over here tomorrow. Yay!
Tonight the low is 38. Friday we get up to 71, Saturday 77, Sunday 82, Monday 84, Tuesday 84, Wednesday 76. But it's going to be breezy, which breezy for us is about 25 to 30 mile an hour winds. So it'll be good open window weather day, and with it being breezy, it won't get stagnant and we won't have to put the AC on. So
I am so sorry, but every time I hear someone say, well, the weather in Kansas, all I hear is dun 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 dun, and I, get a visual of the witch going around and every single
It's
time.
currently 42 here, feels like 36.
Sorry.
So yeah.
it's all right. At least Toto ain't pooping in my yard.
I love that dog.
Although it's going to continually get a little bit warmer. I will take it.
All right, fine. I will look up and see what it is here. People.
We ain't people, we're your people.
You are. My crazy people, it's 54. Wind is 15 miles an hour.
Which is roughly where we're at right now. I think we were 57. With a slight breeze, which is 10 to 15 miles an hour. My wind chimes are jingling.
Marty came to say hi.
Hey, Marty. Wow.
Marty hardly does. Well, she's been coming to say hi a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
She
first time
has.
I've gotten a good look at her face.
Holly is the opposite. She was adventurous and free.
Well, it's almost 3:30 in the afternoon here, so about 4 is when the temperatures start dropping again.
There wasn't a new fatal rule she didn't violate.
So right now we're kind of at the heat of the day for this time of year.
Oh, it was funny when I was on Dawn and Mary's Two Hip Chicks this morning, which it's they're noon, our morning still. Was on Chick Chat, and No Money G Greg was talking about it being cold. They got snow
Weird, like how he read your diary.
this morning.
Yeah,
and
Larry did too.
overnight up in Michigan.
Here's some of my old tweets.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Kind of person so sure this was
it's April. This area, you're going to still get snow in
Yeah.
April. It'll be okay. Get used to that. He's like, I know, Ma, but still, in my mind, that's not where it's supposed to happen. I'm like, 10 more days. I said, there'll probably still be snow coming down on my birthday. Hello?
Yep, it's April Fool's, Linda.
reading, then flipping the bird of gravity. She'd know that you're going down with it.
I don't do April Fools.
We got a new Dish-scape on our TV this morning at like 4 a.m.
Mhm.
And this one's just weird. It's
Tina,
What?
it's not 10 o'clock. And look, I'll show you.
I think she was a dying as a consequence of life kind of girl.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't say that to her.
It's awfully early.
One time,
wow.
There is no in between. It's either really early or really late. I'd rather have it early than really late.
This is like an Asian scene.
Yep.
Watch what comes out behind the.
Pagoda.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting how like over the top she was.
Okay.
Remember when she come crashing home at like 4 a.m. and she was
I'm
Oh,
guessing it's like a nod to Godzilla. I don't know.
yeah, it is.
I thought that was Japan, but not China.
Because Godzilla and King Kong movie coming out.
Yeah, Kong versus Godzilla.
Yep.
I don't know. This is weird. And like the little bridge. Let me get my remote put down. Usually a bridge is going over like a little creek or something. It's like on the side of a lake right here, just randomly just kind of stuck there. It's just really shittily done. I'm just not impressed.
Not something that you're used to seeing. Hey, Willow?
Well, sis this morning, she gets up. She's always excited about the new Dishscape.
Right.
And
Linda.
she's like, oh, that's kind of pretty. But then the more she looked at it, she's like, that's really shittily done. I'm like, yeah, I already figured that out. And then the big red Godzilla thing came out, and she was like, what the fuck is that? And I said, there's a movie coming out. It's like King Kong and Godzilla or something.
And there's a
it's a nod to that. And she's like, oh, well, that kind of ruins it for me.
What's on your
walk off, and I was like, okay.
What's on your screen is the Mecha Godzilla, because that's the one that breathes the red beams. It's the robot Godzilla. That's also in the movie.
Last time I watched Godzilla, it was watching the original way back when black
Yeah,
and
the
white.
70s version, right?
Creature
Yeah,
features.
really old.
Creature features. Marty, away from my food. You know better.
I think the last ape one I watched was it named Kong? Just Kong? And I didn't see this. I just saw like bits and pieces. This is
There's
like
a gajillion of them.
Yeah.
There's a gajillion King Kong movies and Godzilla movies.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, the
They've
last
remade
one
that
that I
to death.
watched that was King Kong had Jack Black in it.
yep, I remember that.
King
King Kong
Entertainment at a Stay Puft
Skull
Marshmallow Man.
Skull Island. I think that was. But I mean, then they did, King of Monsters or whatever, and now they're just continuing on with that.
Yeah.
So okay, when it's free, I'll watch it. But I'm not paying money for it.
I said I haven't watched the Godzilla movies, and the one that came out like in the late 80s, early 90s.
The one with Matthew Broderick in it.
Yeah,
Everybody hates that movie, and that is my favorite Godzilla movie.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I
Remember
just
it
never
came out. It was a
on
big deal.
monster movies.
Taco Bell had something going. They had the Chihuahua dog on there.
I think we need a bigger box. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, my son, when that movie came out, at that point my son had gone beyond the Free Willy things, and Godzilla was his next thing. And we watched that movie so many times we wore out the VHS and had to get a new one. He was obsessed. It had to be on 24 hours. I mean, if he was up and he was done with all his stuff, that movie was on. You know what I mean? This was before video games. So
Yeah, right.
I got a break after the video games. But then my daughter discovered Bring It On, to which John accidentally stepped on. My daughter cried for 3 days, and I looked at him. I said, you will go to the store, and you will get her a new tape. You will get her a new one. He goes, but then I'll have to watch it. I said, and you will sit through it, and you will stay there, and you will not say a word. He goes, but I'm like, that's a word. What are you doing? No, ma'am. Mm-mm. You know better. Marty's trying to sneak up on my bowl of food. She's like, mm-mm. Yeah, I just got blocked on the nose, didn't you? Lay down, know your role. She's, but I smell cheese.
Nah.
So he did go get her a new one, and I made him sit and watch it. I love the Bring It On movies. I do. Well, I love Eliza Dushku, and she was in the first one. And I've watched all of them. I even watched them. I watch them now, even, you know. just 'cause
I
that
do
was-
too. I watched them. My youngest daughter, the one that was here, that took Tim to go do the grocery shopping, it's her fault.
Hmm.
Yeah, her fault.
I like them. I think they're fun. So I was watching one. I was watching the original one. My son came walking in my room and he goes, "Hey, no." And he turned around and walked out because he got so tired of every time he went through the living room, that movie was on. And she was like, "Hey, we had to deal with your Godzilla." He goes, "Yeah, but Godzilla's cool." She goes, "Well, I don't think so." He goes, "Yeah, but your opinion doesn't count. You're a girl." And I went, "Excuse me?" He goes, "I love you, Mom," and ran to his room. I'm like, mm-hmm. She goes, "Are you going to let him say that?" I'm like, "He'll learn."
When my oldest daughter was really young, her movie in animation was The Great Mouse Detective. Then the middle daughter, her animated movie was Lion King.
I got lucky with the animated ones because both of the kids loved Land Before Time. My son's favorite was Chomper, and my daughter's favorite was Sarah, and I got them each a beanbag of their characters. And they carried them everywhere. They loved all the Land Before Time movies. And then so it seems like we went from Land Before Time to, well, it was Land Before Time, Free Willy.
Youngest daughter, Rugrats, and Wild Thornberries.
Hmm.
Now, when you go to where you have actual people in their films, we have Hocus Pocus, Andre, and anything horror, because they're mine. But my middle child, now hers is anything anime. We watch Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service, you name it. Studio Ghibli.
I knew when my son watched The Fifth Element for the 10th time in a row that his hormones were kicking in because he loved Mila Jovovich. He told me that was his girlfriend. I was like, oh God. He says it's not his girlfriend anymore. And then he moved on to Kate Beckinsale. I'm like, back off, that bitch is mine. But he said that any girl that he ended up with would have to be able to kick ass. I'm like, well, good. I like the first Step Up movie that has Channing Tatum in it because, damn, you know.
Right? Yeah, the Step Up movies were good.
And of course, then there's Magic Mike. Mm.
No, he was a wuss. His wussiness that triggered my vision.
Look, we got a sketchy musician, a serial cheater.
Kayla got back at John. She ended up stepping on his Wild Wild West DVD. So I had to have her do chores that were outside of her regular chores so that she would get paid for them so she could save the money up to buy him a new DVD.
Ah.
I was like, he bought you a new Bring It On. You had to buy him a new one. She's like, ugh. I'm like, well, fair is fair.
Exactly.
He was like, she stepped on my DVD. I'm like, why was it on the floor? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, think back. He had been drinking and he bumped into the stack of DVDs and knocked them on the floor.
God, why were they not in the case?
Oh no, they were in the case.
Mm.
It was in the case. She just stepped on the case and all. Boom. And he's like, well, why didn't you pick him up? I said, I'm not picking up after you drunk ass. I said, if you're going to drink and be stupid, you deal with it. Hi, Tim. So, Linda. Linda has anime pillows for sale. They're in
I
California.
see that.
Text from Jennifer. Confession. I ate a piece of your pizza last night. I peeled the top off. Couldn't stand it.
What
You
the
know what I
hell? Yeah.
She doesn't eat gluten, so she just peels the top off. She probably buried the crust in the garbage or something. Who knows?
Tell her to get her own pizza.
Yeah, I don't eat her pizza. It's gluten free.
I don't own a car. I can't drive.
I'm sorry, I got
Yeah, my phone was ringing, so I handed it to Tim. It must have been one of those car warranty things.
Insurance thing.
Oh, the insurance thing?
Sorry, I can't drive. I don't own a car. Oh, well, sorry.
I don't
Yeah,
answer
that's
any
what
number I don't
happened
recognize.
earlier. Yeah. Like what part
Hey,
of
I
don't
own a
own
car.
that you don't understand?
I just tell them and I hang up. Or I just hang up, or I don't answer it at all.
9 times out of 10, I don't answer. But Jesus, this phone rings constantly. Your car warranty has expired. And here it rings again, 1-866-242-6816. Or my social security number is,
Just hit decline.
but then they call back again. Et cetera, et cetera. It's always something. I'm like, seriously? Lord.
I hit decline on mine all the time. They don't call me back.
Missed call, potential spam. After a while, I go through and my call log and I hit, block. And they'll block those numbers. I mean, they come back through with 15 dozen other numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I do that on the landline. On my cell, I haven't figured out how to block on there, so I just delete them because I know they're going to bug me again anyways.
If I don't know the number, I don't answer. That's me.
The only time
is like nurses and doctors. I've got so many of them. And even though I have my landline as my primary number, if they don't get me on that, like right now, 2 seconds later, my cell rings and they're using like their cell and not the office phone. And it can be a random number.
Yeah, that happens with my prosthetic place calls me. It's always on a cell phone. Mm-hmm. But the only time they call me is the day before my appointment to remind me of my appointment. And that's when I end up canceling them all the time and rescheduling them. But yeah, they don't call me from the office phone.
I don't know. I mean, I've got so many doctors and so many nurses tied to the doctors and so many, people calling, because I had this lab done or I had this test done or, giving me results and just, it's just constant, and then I've got care coordinators calling me and then I've got my, people tied to that calling me and, just all this stuff that I pretty much take every call. And if it's a solicitor, I just block them on the landline and hang up on them on the other.
Yeah. Well, shit. Here's the thing: is it comes up, and even if it's like an 866, usually if it's in 1-800 number of some sort, I know it's a spam call. But if it comes up 202, that's Washington D.C., and I'm going, Who the hell's calling me from DC?
Majority of them that we get, they come local number with a random name. I've even had my name show up like I'm calling me.
How the hell do you do that one?
I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, it's bad here.
Everybody has Toad's number.
Well, I mean, the landline officially is mine, technically. But, people, doctor's offices and stuff, or sis too, will call here and stuff. So. No, I ain't going senile yet. Yeah, I don't call myself. Somehow they're fucking with shit.
They do that so that you'll answer it being like, how the hell are you calling me with my own name and number?
Right?
Beyond saying hello, I say hello and I listen.
I don't.
And I count to 5. And if nobody says anything, then I know that they've put me in a queue on one of their little auto phone things. That I'm on a queue from an auto dialer. And yeah, I just block them. Because the
Now, I see
doctor's office
somebody
doesn't
call
put
me
you on
from
a
my
queue.
own number. I ain't answering. Because that means they have plugged my number in order to use it to call other people.
They're calling from
At
inside
the time, that
house.
didn't register because sis was using my cell. And I come up as me. And I didn't pay attention to the number until after. That it wasn't my cell number. That was a landline number that was showing. It was weird. That hasn't happened since then. But
Oh my God, I cannot eat anymore. I have food, baby.
food coma.
Coma will be coming.
I only ate about half of it, but damn, there's a lot of food in this.
Well, that was a fairly large bowl he brought you.
Yeah, it is.
You'll have food for later.
Yeah, right. We don't have anything to wrap it in. If I have him come in and get my food, he will eat it.
You got a baggie. Baggie that sucker.
Yeah, he won't do it.
You've got Ziplocs in your room.
I cannot reach them currently.
Grr.
I know.
What are you doing, Pussycat?
Push, push. Meow. Meow, meow.
You're being talked to, push, push, push.
Meow.
Yeah, you're being talked to.
Push, push. Yeah, pushy, 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 pushy.
That cat is like, nope.
It says use it. Linda says use a jewelry bag. Yeah, then the jewelry will be scattered all over the bedroom because the cats will have been able to get into it because it
Yeah,
wasn't.
they'd be playing hockey. We don't
Yeah.
want that.
Wendy wants to know what your kitty's name is.
Puss.
That's why I was saying push, push. Push, push. Yeah, push, 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 push.
It's Sissy Puss. Most of the
Sissy
time we
Puss.
call her Puss.
I call her Puss Puss because if I say sissy around here, because sis and I call each other sissy, then yeah,
Mhm.
she's like, what? You know.
Well, you sound possessed when you do that. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Just letting you know.
Hockey's fun. Not jewelry hockey on the wooden floor.
No, Hickey
Actually,
is
she's
fun.
not picky.
Yes, they are. Yes, that's what got me to lose my virginity was a hickey.
Yeah, pushy, 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 pushy. Yeah, push, push.
Puss puss.
Push, push. Yeah, push, push.
My nose.
Yeah, your sinuses are running.
Must have been a little spice in the noodles.
No.
Yeah, the cats think so. Hockey!
That doesn't mean you can have it. Just because you blind him one day doesn't mean you get my food. It made me boot you up to your spot. Because the first flying lesson is free. After that, I charge.
Well, you've already gave them all their first lesson.
She just gave me the stink eye, and she only got one eye, so it works for her. But she was like, well, I mean, she has both eyes. She just, the other one is all milky because of the.
Yeah, I know, because you're blind in it.
Yep. You would never know it. The way that this cat, you'd never know that Marty was blind in one eye.
It's a puss cat. Yep.
Crazy critter. Crazy critters.
Yeah, I only have the one cat, Wendy. Just the one. One cat, 2 snakes, bearded dragon, a crested gecko, a smelly dog,
The spawn.
the spawn, and the,
And a
and
shaking
the
baby.
Tim. And the Tim.
And the shake and bake.
Yep.
Yes. I didn't find anything in Seattle, but my search got a match for £8.
He was in my chat on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And he was in Conky's auction Saturday night.
Yeah, he was in Conky's.
Wendy. Wendy's getting naughty.
He had really blue eyes.
Why do you look like you're gonna pounce the bowl? Stop it. You
How does he sustain himself? What's his
With that comment, it makes me question whether Toad is going to end up becoming a garden gnome.
zombie subject question?
Yes, Mia. No. Yes. I don't know. I kind of thought my love life was over.
I don't know. I don't know if Wendy has. Wendy, have you talked to the big man lately?
He's our murderer.
I don't.
And by big man, I mean, the big man.
And where is that feeling originating from?
I'm never telling you anything again. What? So all zombies are killers now?
I'm never telling you anything again.
Stop that.
Quit watch TV.
Consummate courage.
Well, at least he wouldn't need very big tools or equipment.
Oh, well, there you go, Linda. Wendy's talked to him. He's still alive.
Now prescriptions like Christmas presents.
Squashy hasn't killed him in his sleep yet.
Well, now that they're opening up, he should be able to get our packages out.
Should be. Yeah.
Linda messaged him, but no answer.
Yeah, the only place I've talked to him is, briefly in chats and stuff.
Is he okay? That's a matter of opinion.
Define okay.
Yeah.
Just saying. Was he ever okay? I mean, think about it. Are any of us really okay?
That too. That's like defining normal.
That's not all.
Yeah.
Daddy Nicole is out of the job. There's no way he's keeping his
And normal's a state of mind. And since I don't have one, I don't have to worry about that.
John and I were like, yeah, we're normal. Abby normal.
Sounds like me and Tim.
We put the fun in dysfunctional.
Like up and going, okay.
Whether or not he's
I
up, we
wouldn't
have no
have any
idea, and we
clue.
don't want to know.
Well, he didn't do much of that before. I don't know.
Not a clue, Miss Linda.
Yeah, that's when you'd have to ask Squashy because don't want
You might try messaging Kate.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a bit to pick up, but you know,
He is a pretty big guy.
that's pretty solid.
At least he doesn't have to. At least he doesn't have to worry about the added weight of, you know.
Yeah, but that also means he lacks a properly functioning kickstand too.
Well, hopefully he doesn't want to lay on his side then.
Well, that just means he doesn't have anything to prop himself up with.
Well, I hope he gets everything worked out. Depression sucks.
And or up, depending on the circumstance.
Apparently he's still working on it, Linda. I do wish him the best, man. I hope he gets everything straightened out.
Ditto.
Although cutting off all of the people that care about you and support you and all that is not going to help the depression any. But just saying.
Mm.
Just saying. You got to do what you got to do. You do you, boo.
Yeah. Check my avatar. Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Cat. Wendy, she's not that cute. Cat, she's not that cute. Yeah, he's apparently not even going into detail with Wendy, Linda. So, you know. Yeah, let's talk about you, Cat.
How far out in advance can you schedule your lives on here?
I don't know. A week? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I know, like Victoria and Cajun schedule their whole week on like Sundays. They'll schedule their lives for the week. Yeah, she's not an angel, Wendy. Hell's Angel, maybe.
Yeah, we all got to have the horns to hold the halo up.
She's talking about Marty. Wendy loves Marty. Marty's always up to no good. This one. Right chair.
Yeah, but she said Cody is an angel.
Where'd you get those shoes?
She said Squashy's good. She spoke to her yesterday. So
She's talking about the cat. No,
no,
good.
Squashy.
No, she was talking about the cat being an angel because she always says Marty's an angel.
Oh.
She's so cute.
Aspen, what are you doing? Aspen. Oh.
Yeah, Linda, my black wings are hung up to dry right now.
What you doing? You gonna come up and say hi to everybody? You gonna come say hi to everybody? Yeah. You gonna come up here? Come on. Yeah, you're a sweet girl. There's Aspen. Yeah. Chin scratch. You gotta hold still.
Thank you.
She's so pretty.
She is.
Yeah, I lost your halo when you met Cody. That's hilarious.
I collect those along with the
No, but-
souls. That's what.
Hey,
But
Ted.
you gained a swing
Hey, Ted.
and doodads and all kinds of fun stuff. Hey, Silver.
No, I didn't.
It was already in you, Wendy.
She just helped you find it.
Yes.
I help you bring out your potential, Wendy.
Oh, you want me to work your ear? All right. Squish, 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 squish.
It has nothing to do with being a devil. It just has to do with being a little wicked.
Just a
Right.
little. Check it out.
Well, then tell Toad I said, you're welcome, Toad.
We were all good girls at one point in our life.
Right? Maybe, anyway.
Sure, I mean, yeah, we'll go with that.
Shoot. Even when I'm bad, I'm good.
When
Well,
I'm
the
bad,
only
I'm
part you
bad.
missed was what was sitting in my lap. Crossed fingers.
I love you too, Wendy.
Love
When
you
I'm
too,
bad,
Wendy.
I'm better.
I never had any complaints, anyway.
Mhm.
Just your sissy.
Even
Yeah.
the one that tried to kill me still wanted me to come up and, you know.
Feel
Go ahead,
violent.
Ted.
I hope not, Ted.
Oh, now
I-
Tally's
I-
under my
I saw-
table.
Maybe you had a couple of good girls.
I'm sure he's converted a few into bad girls. I stopped being a good girl when I was around 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Right?
Just saying. It all got a lot more fun after that. She is still staring at this bowl like it's about to jump off the table and attack her, and she must kill it first. There's nothing in it moving, trust me. No.
Oh, the cat scattered again.
I don't think my neighbor's going to get back to me today.
Yeah, it does make one wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that sucks.
Well, we are doing pretty good here on this end.
I do not have many shorts left.
No.
It is what it is.
What, you had a tobacco or?
Yep. And I asked my neighbor at 9 o'clock this morning if he could make a store run. I will deal with you shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. Here, I'll get you some weed and give you some pie. I'm like, type of lecture that he gives me every single time.
Says she smokes entirely too much. Here, let me get you some weed and get you some pie for the munchies.
Yep.
I gotta give him props. At least he's gonna cover the munchies.
I know. Well, I told him, well, see, that's because he was like, girl, you need to just smoke weed. I quit smoking 20 years ago and I just started smoking pot. And I'm like, okay. I was like, Johnny, if I smoke weed, I get some munchies and I can't afford food. He was like, oh, well, that kind of happens. I'm like, so the next time he made the offer, he's like, I'll even get you the pie.
Which cracks me up, by the way.
Pot and pie. So, yeah.
Staples in life.
I don't think he realizes that I only get, like, if I'm lucky, I get 4 hours of sleep a day. In a 24-hour period, I get 4 hours of sleep. So, you know, if I'm awake, then I smoke more. If I'm awake, I sleep more. No. If I'm awake, I smoke more.
Mm.
So, you know, and if I'm stressed, I smoke more. But my stress level went down drastically. I'm probably up to 3.5 packs a day when the toxic twins were here. It's gone back to closer to normal, which is about a pack and a half a day. But it's like, you know,
No.
2 packs in a 24-hour period, and I run out, and I get a lecture every time he goes to the store for me. I deal with it. I smile and nod. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, Donnie. I know. It's a terrible habit.
That vape about killed you.
Yeah, I think of the vape as defective, seriously. So, and it leaks, and I'm not getting that nicotine all over my hands because that's toxic on your skin, and no. So,
I don't know, honey. Don't know nothing about that vape.
So, Linda, when do you actually go?
yeah.
What's your tentative date for heading out?
She said May is the month, but not a day.
Oh, so she's giving herself like a month to pack up and what have you.
Yeah.
A lot of shit to pack up. Month. Well, she's probably accumulated a lot while she was there for a year.
Yeah.
Devin and Kelly naked knowledge night. It's 4 p.m. How can it be naked knowledge night? And then what in the fuck is a naked knowledge night?
Well, they're not naked, I can tell you that. Kind of like finding down to the nitty-gritty bare bones of the situation, I guess.
I guess.
Like selling on things or how to do certain things or whatever.
Oh, mid to end of May, so a month and a half, 2 months to pack. That's a lot of shit. You can pack a lot of shit in 2 months, you know.
Or she can not have to rush. She just doesn't want to have to rush to pack.
Well, it was a memorable one.
Yeah, Wendy. May is her birthday month. Wendy's getting old.
What happened to him?
Wendy is the baby.
Yeah. We all have a birthday month every year, Wendy.
Yeah, see, the rest of that was episode 11, Etsy versus eBay. So they'll compare Etsy and eBay selling platforms and which is the best for whatever. And it's...
So it's reseller shit.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Probably why I've never went. Because I'm not a reseller. I know more than I want to know about reselling at this point.
Well, see, something like that I might go and watch later because I will probably eventually need some kind of selling platform, and I'm still not comfortable with Etsy. Somebody asked if I was going to sell on Etsy. I think it was Julie. And I mean, Etsy used to be for the handmade artist or someone who modified things. You have to modify up to like 30% of the item, change it 35%, and then it's qualified for their platform. But then they changed it to everybody can sell on Etsy no matter what it is. Resellers can sell on there, like t-shirts and hats, and I'm like, what? So it's not for the handmade artist anymore, which when you can sell stuff like paparazzi on Etsy, it cheapens the handmade artists aren't going to have any sales.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
people are going to buy the cheap stuff. They're not going to buy the stuff that, you know, is actually artisan.
Snoopy.
So
She'll have to take the cats on the plane, and hubby is driving the car up, and the rest of the stuff goes in a moving truck. Well, that answers that question. I thought maybe you're just going to like rent a jet and load that fucker up and...
yeah, Linda, just rent a jet.
I don't know. I've never, you know, the only time I've moved a distance was to Nashville and then back. And when we went, we shipped some stuff ahead. And then when we left, all we had was each of us had a suitcase. And when we came back, it was whatever would fit in my car in the back of my dad's pickup.
Yeah.
So it wasn't how to get it all
Mhm.
there. It was, this is what's going to fit. So figure out what you're taking. The rest stays.
I hate moving too. And
then, of
now
course,
it would
the
be even.
move here was 50 years accumulation and 3 households.
Now it would be even more difficult for me to move because obviously I wouldn't be able to pack up stuff myself. There's stuff that I can't get to or can't lift, and I wouldn't be able to move anything literally myself.
Yeah, it'd be a shit show for you if you were
Yeah.
having to try to do it on your own.
And I wouldn't be able to rent a truck because I can't get into one to drive it. And so,
Can't afford to hire like a moving van with people.
no. I mean, we had people when I moved from the house my son and I had. We were able to hire the people that show up and load your truck for you and then get to where you're going and unload it. But it was really late by the time we got over here, and we had enough time on the amount we had specified for them to help us out. Had enough time to get things here. Well, there was stuff that was supposed to go to storage. All of my stuff was not supposed to be in this room. Like half of it was supposed to be in storage. But because we were almost out of time, I was like, we'll just throw everything in my room and, Issa can take stuff into storage. I'm really glad that her lazy ass never did it because the stuff that we already had in the storage unit, she probably didn't pay it and it's probably gone, which is my $900 for the tattoo equipment in there too. So I'm glad that my stuff is, I'll do without not being able to move as long as, I still have my stuff because, most of this stuff was in storage for 5 years. I didn't have any access to it. So I finally got it out of there. I missed it. Yeah. And when I moved out of the other house, I didn't take any of the furniture. We just put it all out at the curb. It was finally gone before we finished loading the truck. And luckily at the time, my the guy I bought my Laredo from, he has a deal that anybody that buys a vehicle from him gets $25 tows, no matter where they are, no matter what happens to the vehicle, no matter where they need it taken, $25 for a tow, which is very sweet of him. So he towed it over here for $25 in the hope that I would be able to get it fixed and back on the road. That never happened. I never had the money for it. So. And now it's gone because my city is full of fuckery.
Well, we kind of have the same thing here because we're in a trailer park.
Yeah.
If it's not tagged and current, it can't stay in the park.
Yeah. But there are houses all up and down my street. In this whole neighborhood, there are cars on the sides of houses, and they're not in a garage. They're not even in like one of those
metal on the grass beside the building.
Yeah, and most of them are taken apart, and they look horrible. And mine was all in one piece. It wasn't even. It was facing the road. We only need a back plate on it, so the plate wasn't. The absence of the plate wasn't even noticeable. There was no reason that couldn't have stayed there. But I'm still bitter about that.
Obviously.
I loved that truck. Well, that truck symbolized freedom. When I was when I would be able to get it up and running and back on the road, then I'd be able to go where I needed to go myself without having to call people for a ride. Well, I'll call my mom for a ride. There's nobody else for me to ask for a ride now. It's just my mom.
Yeah, since he's late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I think maybe my breakfast.
So.
Yeah, I downsized a lot when I moved to Nashville because I had a household and, I shipped under $100 worth of boxes in the 80s there, and then we each had a suitcase. I just miss having wheels of my own in general, Linda. My car went to the scrap yard It was a minivan, actually. Was it last year? No, year before. Would have been the fall of 2019. And now all we have is Sis's car, which, I mean, it's ours, but yet not, you know. But I have to schedule all of my appointments and everything around her being able to get it to take to work, you know. Otherwise, you know, I have to schedule it to where I take her to work, drop her off, but then do everything I need to do and have the energy to be able to go pick her up at, you know, when she gets off at 11 at night. You know,
Yeah.
it won't work so well. There's usually a doctor's appointment and a couple of quick stops on the way home, and I am gassed for the day. So, and I've usually had to stay up all night to make the appointment. So I'm ready to go to bed, and having to stay up and then get behind a wheel and drive when I'm that exhausted, not the best thing. It just don't work.
Yeah.
And the money that I got out of it at the scrapyard went to fix the heater. So I you know, I didn't have the money to get it.
I got $100 for my Laredo, which probably only needed $100 worth of work done to it. I just couldn't do it and cover insurance and all that, but I got $100 for it.
Well, insurance wasn't that bad. It was only $10 more on the insurance to have a second vehicle on there, which was, I think we pay, let's see, we paid 28 now, and it was 36 with two vehicles. So it was less than $10.
Yeah, my insurance was like almost $100 a month. So
no, ours was with two vehicles 36, and like I said, now it's 28. So,
but rules are rules. Fuck the poor people, you know.
I got 125 on my minivan, but 50 of it went for the tow because I wasn't comfortable driving it. So they had to come get it.
Nobody here would buy it. I called so many places and none of them were interested, and they were, you know, we're not buying right now.
Well, you were in the middle of COVID. I managed
and
to
Christmas.
do pre-COVID.
Yeah, so
I miss my full-size van that I had before the minivan, which was Dad's old work van, which was actually new. It was less than a year old when he retired. But it was a 91, but it was not new and, you know, one family. But it was just,
ladies,
was starting to
we've
get
been on
funky.
for 3 hours and 2 minutes.
If you want to chat, Linda, get in here.
yeah.
She's fixing to close it. It'll be back room again. If you want to come in, let us know so that the link can get dropped. She came in green room last night.
Yeah, you said.
I told her, I said, next time Cody or Tina come on, you got to come on. Excuse me.
Yeah. I got 300 for my Jeep a few years back when I scrapped that. My Jeep Cherokee. So that's why I was hoping that I would get something for this, but
Green room.
a guy just
Getting
bought it
ready
for
to close it out. So anybody who's still hanging out
Wants to come and chat.
wants to come and chat, that's fine. You don't have to, you know, come on screen. You can leave your avatar up. That's great. That's fine. Anybody that's whatever. Great. Love you. See you. Bye. Glad you said bye. Chat. See you. Bye.
Bye, folks.